we're live again and they can't press the old link to get there. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
I just have a tiny bit of stomach pain.
Anything you want me to do?
No.
Okay. All right. I believe in you, Nate.
It's not bad. Like, I'm fine right now. It's just like, it's there.
Okay, all right. Well, we're back on. We're on to the black cards. I'll give it a couple seconds here before I just jump right in. We just finished all the blue cards, so we're probably just going to finish the black cards and then be done for tonight, and we'll finish the rest later. They have them all in separate little videos of their own.
Yep. Mash them together for whatever reason, maybe.
Yep. Alrighty. So let's start
With the black cards, including this particular black card of Akuda, Born of Ash.
There you go. That's the one. Akuda, Born of Ash is 2 black for a 3/2 haste legendary creature spirit. It has at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may sacrifice a swamp. If you do, return it from your graveyard to play.
Okay, this card's really cool. This card's actually really probably good, right? Wait.
You gotta have more cards in hand than your opponent.
You just sack a swamp every time.
Yep, it's gotta be in your graveyard.
This card, so it just comes. The thing is, it turns a swamp into an Akuda.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
But the requirement of having more cards in hand than an opponent is just too tough for this kind of card.
It's really hard.
Because this is an aggressive card.
Right. So the point is, you gotta get cards out of your opponent's hand. That's how Black did it.
All right, I guess. Like
it was bad. Like having to compare your hand cards in hand to your opponent was why the mechanic was bad.
All right, I'm expecting your redesign to be really good, actually. 2 black for a 3/2 haste, still legendary creature spirit. 1 black, sacrifice a land, return it from the graveyard to your hand. Activate this only if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, so heck bent.
Mm-hmm.
This is weaker than I expected, but still fine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we might get it to come into play with the 1 on the black, sacrifice a land.
Yeah.
Having to pay all that mana again is pretty rough.
Yeah, fair enough. But at the point that you're doing it, you don't care.
Yeah.
You just leave it up at the end of turn, cast him.
Yeah. A lot of mana for a 3/2.
Do you think it would be okay at that rate?
Yeah.
To just sack lands and make 3/2 hastes again?
So this is a 3/2, right?
Yeah. So it's not huge. Fair enough.
Have you seen Scrappy Scrounger?
Yeah, he doesn't have haste. And he can't block. And you gotta exile a creature from a graveyard.
So I think that this is... Sacrificing a land is a bigger cost.
Right.
It might not be okay. Maybe it's 2 in a black sack a land. I don't know. Something like that.
Alright, good call. We'll see. In the future, we might do that.
Yeah. Otherwise, as is, this card is fine. It's playable.
Alright, next card. Ashen Skin Zubera, 1 in a black for a 1/2 creature spirit Zubera. Whenever it dies, target opponent discards a card for each Zubera that died this turn.
This is my favorite Zubera. It is also one of the worst. Just, it's like right under the... Right above the life gain one. Yep, right above the life gain one. Just like, when it dies, so things have to happen to cause it to die. Your opponent has to have cards in hand for it to matter.
And you're not going to have multiple Zuberas, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's just like...
So the new version is using my new Zubera text.
So 1 in a black, 1/2. Whenever you cast or reveal it, each opponent discards a card. Much better. On cast, we had an on cast, each opponent discards a card, 1/1 for 1 in a black recently, I think. Or not on cast, but ETB. And it was fine.
Yeah.
It was definitely not bad. I liked it a lot. And this is just better than that. So
Yep. Lets you do the reveal as well. She's got cool stuff. It's important, like I was saying before, last time we were talking about it, that, you're not going to get multiple Zuberas in this version of the set, so that couldn't keep the same mechanic, decided to move in a different direction.
I like this in a different direction. Being able to say, whenever I reveal this card, which isn't going to happen a lot, but whenever I do.
And also it being a pseudo ETB. Yeah? You're so itchy, huh?
Yeah.
We give you allergy meds.
Other kind of itch. Just regular old itchy itch.
Yeah. Alright, next. Befoul. 2 black for a sorcery. Destroy target land or non-black creature. It can't be regenerated.
At the time, this was pretty good. Yep.
This removal back then was really bad and limited, and 4 mana destroy a creature. I mean, you're doing it.
Yeah, you didn't target lands with this.
No. So what we did...
Now it is black. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. If you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, that creature instead gets -5/-5 until end of turn at instant speed. I love this card. Yeah, this gets picked really high. I mean, it's removal. It's
good removal. Good. I looked at the card, saw removal, was like, let me just do something completely different though.
Yeah.
But it's removal. It's like removal into removal. Make one that fits the construction of the format better.
Yeah, Bioblight, but instead of going to everybody with the same name, we get the -5/-5 with Heck Bent. I like this card a lot.
Yep. Next card is Bile Urchin. Black for a 1/1 creature spirit. You can sack it to make someone lose a life.
I built a casual deck with Bile-Urchin whenever we were first started. Whenever I was first like getting really into Magic. And the card's bad.
Yeah, it was much like the one that sacks to do whatever else. It's the purpose of
There
this
is
card.
one good one.
Yeah, the purpose of this card is to, my brain stopped working, is to get it back with Soul Shift and to be a cheap way to trigger your spells.
Whenever you
Your
cast a spirit
spirits, yeah.
effects. So now it is black for a 1/1. 2, sacrifice it to draw a card. Whenever it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until its turn. So you can do the old Festering Goblin trick where this trades with a 2/2, where you just block, take the damage, and give something -1/-1. Or you can chump, sacrifice this to draw a card and give something -1/-1 and kill a 1/1.
Yep.
So you're attacking like a 5/5 and a 1/1, you kill the 1/1, you're happy. You know?
Still similarly works where you can get it back with Soul Shift and it's
Yep.
cheap and all that stuff.
Yep.
Can sack itself.
This card's good. Obviously, Festering Goblin is sometimes playable and limited. Not often, but sometimes, and this is just better.
Yep.
I like this.
Yep. Next one, Blessing of Leeches, 2 and a black. For an aura that has flash, beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life, but you can pay 0 just anytime you want to regenerate enchanted creature. You can always regenerate it.
Blessing of Leeches is a weird, broken kind of card because you can just always regenerate something forever.
It's weirdly good, actually.
Yeah.
It's also instant speed, which is part of what makes it pretty good.
I don't know how good it was in limited. I don't feel like it was that good, but at the same time, you like.
It's because
had the
limited was
chance
so slow, you would lose a lot of life from it.
And combat, 2 creatures hitting each other just didn't happen all that much, actually.
Yeah. It was a lot of I can't attack, you can't attack. Oh, now I can attack.
Yeah, exactly. You didn't attack if something was going to be like in a situation where Blessing of Leeches would be good. So like.
Right. But you could use it to stop removal, but then you'd have to lose a bunch of life.
And you could also use it to have a forever blocker. Like that's the big thing about Blessing of Leeches is it creates a forever blocker. So instead of taking the 5 damage from that creature, we're taking 1 damage.
Yeah. New version?
Alright, new version is 2 and a black flash, enchanted creature has indestructible at the beginning of your turn. So it's the same thing.
Yep.
I like it a lot. It still does the same thing. I think it's playable.
I think it's actually better in our thing because of the way combat, so it works like a combat trick, can save stuff from removal. Indestructible Forever is really strong.
Indestructible is better than always regenerate because if they have removal that
You don't
says
tap your
destroy
creature.
something, you don't have your creature. Yep.
So you'll be able to attack and block, and I think that the games are shorter, so the relevance of losing the life isn't as bad.
It's not as bad. Yep. I would pick this card low.
Low, yes, but
it's
it'll be
still
effective on occasion.
Yep.
Bloodspeaker is 3 and a black for a creature, ogre, shaman, 3/2. Beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice it. If you do, search your library for a demon card, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Whenever a demon comes into play under your control, you can return this from your graveyard to your hand.
I gotta read this myself a little bit more.
Yep.
So you can sack in your upkeep,
To go get a demon from your deck.
search a demon, and
Put
put
it
it in your hand. And then whenever a demon comes in, you go from your graveyard to your hand.
Yep. Just get a bunch of demons.
I think you just didn't play black and limited unless except for like Heroes Whisper stuff. So like
Yeah.
But this card seems good. Honestly.
Very interesting, yeah.
To me it seems pretty good. Okay, so 3 and a black, 3/2. Whenever you discard it, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. I do love that kind of effect a lot. Sacrifice it, search your library for a card and put it in your hand, then shuffle your library after this. Only if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. So it is a freaking demonic tutor for 4 at worst. If you
As a
if
3/2.
you,
You could
yeah, it's so many things actually. It can. The point is, it can demonic tutor when you're heck bent.
But you can
That's
still
awesome.
cast it as a 4-mana 3/2, and then once you're heck bent, now you can sack it.
Yeah, and I don't know how much the discard stuff matters. I haven't seen a whole lot of stuff making that work, but I believe you.
Red
That's
black,
the thing.
we'll get there.
Yeah, you're wanting to discard your own hand to go heck bent anyways, and it still lets you be heck bent for a period of time with the Bloodspeaker. Like if you discard yourself down to 1, it goes into your graveyard. It's still there. You
Play
can
your
do your heck
Befoul.
bent thing. Your heck bent effect. Yeah. You play your Befoul to put yourself down to 1 card left, and then Bloodspeaker comes back, puts you back to 2 cards at the end of the turn. It's okay.
Yep. Seems good.
Yeah. I think it's I think I don't know. I'm trying to make sure I like have a rating.
Good
on it.
idea in
I
your
don't
head.
really. I think this card needs to be in something where the discard effect matters.
Yeah. So imagine a diabolic tutor, but it was a creature that you could just play it, and then at any point you could sack it to do diabolic.
Right, that's what I'm thinking of, and I
Two
think
black,
that's
3/2 that you can sack at any time to diabolic.
I think that's pretty good, right? Isn't that?
I think that's
don't
pretty
know.
decent.
I just don't know how good Diabolic Tutor is in Limited, honestly.
Not great.
Like, I don't know how good this certain tutoring is in Limited, honestly. I do know.
So
but,
Diabolic
like, it's hard.
Tutor is usually pretty bad in limited.
Unplayable.
But that's what I'm saying is, but it's a creature.
But it's a creature, right?
So it's way more flexible.
It's a creature until it's not, and then
Yeah.
whenever it's not, you know what it is? It's a freaking tutor.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bloodthirsty Ogre, 2 and a black for a creature, Ogre, Warrior, Shaman, 3/1. Yes, tap, put a devotion counter on it, and tap, target creature gets -X/-X until the turn where X is the number of devotion counters on it. Play this ability only if you control a demon.
This is bad. This is bad. This is a 3-mana 3/1 with no text.
Yep.
Right, 2 and a black for a 3/2 now instead of a 3/1. Tap, put a devotion counter on it, and then tap. Target creature gets -X/-X until on turn where X is the number of devotion counters on Bloodthirsty Ogre. We don't remove any.
Nope.
Okay, just want to make sure. Activate this ability only if you have one or fewer cards in hand. All right, sure. Heckbent lets it become really good with the ability. This card still seems weak in my opinion, just because tapping every turn over and over again.
You have to tap it to put these devotion counters on it, and that's so slow. You're just losing a lot of time by doing that.
Yeah, if your opponent's
you
playing
have
a bunch
to
of
be
1/1s,
devoted
it's all
to
right.
it.
Yeah, obviously. Great. No, this card's not good, but it can be filler. 3 mana 3/2 is not bad filler, honestly.
I think where it's going to be, the ability's going to really, you're going to care about it, is when you're playing against someone with a lot of those 1/1 tokens.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be like,
it only takes you one turn to devote up.
Yep, and then you just machine gun all their dudes.
And also, you can do it in instantly. So you're like, those 1/1s can't attack through my 3/2.
And then kill one.
Kill one, yep.
Yep. Call for Blood, 4 and a black, instant arcane. As additional cost to cast it, sack a creature. Target creature gets -X/-X until a turn where X is the sacrifice creature's power.
Absolute trash.
First off,
it's a 2-for-1 on yourself. Yeah, you're killing two of your things. You're casting a spell and sacking a creature to kill something. Oh, and the only way you kill something is if the thing you sacrificed was big enough.
Yep.
To kill it.
Today. I told you it's a bot.
Today. Oh, today. They know. Today.
Today. It is today right now.
Yep.
So with this card, it's so bad because it's worse than like Bone Splinters. It's worse than or Bone Shark, whichever one's which.
Either one.
Yeah, it's worse than those because it doesn't guarantee it dies.
It's also costs so much more expensive.
4 more mana. Now, it may be an instant, but that really doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So anyway, it's not that anymore.
Yeah. 2 and a black. Tribal Instant Spirit. As an additional cast to cost, Call for Blood. Cast to cost.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Cost to cast, Call for Blood. Discard a card. Up to 2 target creatures get -3/-2 until turn. So you're 2 for 2ing yourself.
Yes.
Assuming you're killing both the creatures.
But you have to discard a card to cast this at all.
It's an instant, so it's a combat trick.
It is a combat
trick. I do love this. This is interesting. And the discard a card because of Heckbent plans is... I think this card's great.
Yep.
I think you pick this card like second, third pick pretty often.
It's a really good removal spell.
Yeah.
You can't target the same thing.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You cannot give something -6/-6.
Yep. Next card. Choice of Damnations, 5 and a black. Sorcery Arcane, target opponent chooses a number. You may have that player lose that much life, but if you don't, they sacrifice that many permanents. Can you describe the game happening here?
Okay, so they have to choose a number, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you decide which side they go. So the higher they go, the scarier it is for them either way, right?
Yeah.
So they...
All but that many permanents, sorry.
Yeah, okay, all but that many permanents.
So the higher they go, the more life they lose, and the more permanents they keep.
Right, the more likely you are to pick the life damage thingy.
Yeah.
So that's more where they're going to go, is the high amount, because they plan on just taking the damage and surviving with their permanents.
Exactly.
But if they're at a certain point in the game, they may want to keep their permanents, just a few permanents in that scenario that you pick it. Mm-hmm. Like maybe the 3 permanents is enough for them, so they can pick a really low number and be fine. But most of the time they're going to go really high with Choice of Damnations. They may even go all the way up to like the number of permanents they have in play.
Yep.
You know, and that's so it's 6 mana. They lose a lot of life.
Yep. Oh, I was
pretty bad gameplay.
I was just gonna let everyone know. Hold on, I forgot.
Yeah, go ahead. Since
just in the
we don't
Discord.
have anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, just in the Discord. I forgot about that. I'm not posting on like Facebook. And
no,
stuff
yeah,
right
from Discord.
Now.
That's good.
Just the people who care. Copy link. Go to Discord. I will put a paste, and then I will say, "Everyone, we're back."
We back, Bobby. My phone's about to buzz.
Oh, I gotta put the "add everyone."
My phone's about to buzz.
Here you go. It's about to buzz.
Buzzed. All right.
Buzz to you.
So yeah, this card's annoying and suck. Yeah. Like as in to play it is annoying.
It's not.
It sucks.
And it's not good.
Yeah. They just lose a bunch of life and that's it.
So this is what it is now.
Now 3 black. Choose target opponent. Tribal Sorcery Spirit. It was arcane. I didn't know that. That player chooses 2 creature cards in your graveyard. So they're choosing from my graveyard when I cast this. Mm-hmm. Put those creatures onto the battlefield under my control. Mm-hmm. I lose 3 life for each creature with mana value 5 or greater chosen this way.
Hey, what's up, Austin?
So the plan is to have exactly 2 creatures in our graveyard, and they're both good.
Yep.
I want to make sure that's how we're working this. If we have more, they can choose worse ones.
Mm-hmm.
Or
they can choose big ones to kill us.
Big ones to kill us. So we don't want to cast this when we have 6 or less life, and we have only
5.
We have 5 or greater.
Any 5 or greater.
Yeah.
Yep.
Multiple 5 or greaters. Interesting.
I went in the tank on this one when I was designing it. I was like, no, this is an opportunity to design a very interesting minigame.
So I think this is extremely strong in your format.
I agree.
Because you can choose to discard cards properly. At the same time, though, you have to play a game once you realize you have Choice of Damnations in your wheelhouse of options.
Yep.
You're going to be playing in a game. You need to make sure your creatures don't die.
Yeah.
The ones that suck.
Yep.
Hmm.
I think that this was a really fun. I
love this card.
I went in the tank. I was like, how do I make a mini game, which is what Choice of Damnations is supposed to be,
right,
with an effect that is relevant to the game for real. Like, that isn't annoying. Like,
yeah,
this kind of stuff is like, oh, it's a mini game, and then you go, oh, the mini game results are like not even interesting.
Yeah, it's almost always the same as well.
Yeah, and so this one I was like, no, the mini game was way more interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always positive. It's interesting. It's always doing something. Huh. I wonder how good it is. It's 5 mana, reanimate 2 things.
I think
that's great.
I think minigame cards are better when the minigame is happening before you cast the card.
Mm-hmm.
And
during.
And during. But what I'm saying is, like, with this card, the minigame is me controlling my graveyard and trying to figure out what I want more. And like,
but if you just top deck it after a long game, the minigame is on their point now.
That's true.
It's like, okay, figure out what you want, man.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Like, most of the game time, it'll just be choose your 2 worst creatures, but not always.
There's still 2 creatures from your graveyard into play for 5 mana, too.
Yeah, I think this card's good.
And if they give you bad creatures, you don't lose a life.
I think you want this card. I don't think it's pack one pick winnable.
No.
I think it's just good.
Yeah. I think it's just good. And I wanted that. I liked it. I was like, I want a card you're going to pick. Like, you got to pick this card. All right, next card. Cranial Extraction, 3 and a black, sorcery arcane, name an online card. Search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for all cards with the same name removed from the game. Then that player shuffles his or her library.
This is in the same vein as the other extractions.
This is why we call them extractions.
Yeah, the same vein as the other extractions that have been in this set. But this was the first one that just did exactly this.
You just name a
card. We have a lot of cards that do this now. That you just name a card and get them all. But this was the first one to do that.
Yep.
And it was very useful for a lot of play, but not for limited, obviously.
I kept it the same in limited. And there's one reason why. Because these, while they're horrible, they do let you get the bomb as a sideboard tech card. And I thought that it was nice to have one of those as an option. I don't know exactly what I would have done otherwise. I was thinking, what?
Looks better.
With no mana?
Just black mana. Like, this card's terrible.
Yeah, it is terrible.
So make it 1 mana. It's terrible.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry. You think it should be 1 mana?
At 1 or 2. Like, the best case scenario at 1 mana that makes it scary is you know their hand and you choose one of the cards in their hand. Great.
Yeah, and you never get more than 1 copy either.
Yeah.
I thought about maybe changing it. I don't know. The thing is I was thinking that you might want to have something like this. Not very often, but just like...
I don't think I'm ever playing this card.
I was thinking of it as a just obviously a sideboard card, but it's too much mana. You're right.
As a sideboard card at 1 mana, it's still bad.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't play it even at 1 mana.
Just to get the bomb that you can't beat.
I like there would be cases where I would. It's just so rare because there's just not that many unbeatable bombs.
All right, here's what I'll do. You know what? If we decide this card needs to be changed, which it sounds like we are actually, the decision will be I won't make it an extraction. Instead, I'll make it a discard card.
Yeah.
But like a Thoughtseize or like a 1 in a black, look at their hand, make them exile a card or something like that.
Yeah. Make it a hand hate card. That's what I'd like.
I think here's what I'll do. All right. I'm thinking. So we already have Distress in the set.
Yeah, Distress is good.
So and it's different than it was, but it's better. But don't worry about
it.
We'll get there. So this one could be like. The bad hand hate, like 2 in a black, look at their hand.
Oh, the coercion effect.
Yeah, but so the extraction series I turned into they have extra text, except for Quash. So what this does, what could be, it's 2 in a black, look at their hand, choose a card, they discard it, then they exile their graveyard. That's what I was using these for, is graveyard hate, because there's things you want to. There's enough graveyard shit going on in the set, not a ton, but enough. That having graveyard hate seems relevant.
Yeah, I'm okay with an effect like that. I think using this as a graveyard hate and hand hate is good. Gosh, Go Blank is such a card.
Yeah, Go Blank.
It feels similar to that. Obviously, it's not the same.
But... Not as good because you just get 1 card.
Right. It is. It's reasonable. I like that.
All right, next, Crawling Filth, 5 in a black for a 2/2 fear, 6 mana 2/2s. Oh.
Wow.
Soul Shift 5. Sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's like split weird because of the mic.
Wow.
Like if we move it forward.
I moved it back because it's easier to see because of that.
Let's get right here.
I can't see the power toughness, but that's okay.
Fuck. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, this card's real bad.
Why didn't I think of this earlier?
I think that's what we did last time.
Yeah, I just forgot. It's so much better.
Okay,
Can you
cool.
see this fine?
Yeah, well enough. Yeah, that's better. Thank you.
Okay. Whew, I got nothing else to say, but this is garbage trash.
This is so bad. This is one of the worst cards I've ever seen. Like straight up.
So bad. Hey,
It's
we
so
got
bad.
one with nothing coming up. So
Yes. That card's something.
can you guess?
With this card?
No, can you guess with the one with nothing?
No, I don't want to guess. We'll get there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So Crawling Filth, yeah, 5 and a black for a 2/2 fear, Soul Shift 5. Even for the Soul Shift cards, this is really bad.
Yeah, this is way worse than the others. I can't believe this.
Yeah, it's nuts. Anyway, let's.
I've said that a couple of times that I can't believe this, how bad that is, but
Yeah.
like still. 5 and black is now a 3/2, and enters the battlefield to create 2 1/1 colorless spirit creature tokens with Soul Shift 5. Okay. This is not unplayable. This is not good. This is still pretty weak. Still really weak actually. But because like the thing about the end of the battlefield create 2 tokens, you're not going to sweep this card. It's 6 mana.
No, you're not.
You're not doing it. Like you can. You're not gonna.
You can blink it.
There's
White has a bunch
not
of
that much. There was like 4 cards.
5. There's 5.
Okay.
Cards.
It's
Some of them
something.
are repeatable too.
It's something. It's something to use for sure. So that's reasonable. Yeah, this card's weak. I would play this as a last resort.
I tried a couple different options thinking about it, and I liked it weaker than I liked it better.
Sure. Okay.
And it has to do with the synergies in the set actually, because it's 3 bodies.
Okay.
I liked it weaker. Just with this card, I liked it weaker more than I liked it better because of all of those.
And this also, although I decided you don't want to sweep this, you may sweep the tokens, honestly, if you need
gotta,
to.
yeah.
If you really need this sweep on
Well,
something.
we'll be playing with this set, and if this card can be cheaper, maybe I just make it 5 mana for a 2/2. That makes
Shift 4.
There's a bunch of options.
I don't know. Changing the Soul Shift is
I
kind
don't
of
like.
annoying.
That's the thing. That's a part of it.
Yeah.
As that it had to be 6 mana. But anyway,
if
we'll move on.
Yeah.
Cruel Deceiver, 1 and a black for a 2/1 creature spirit. Has 1, look at the top card of your library. 2, reveal top card of your library if it's a land. This gets old school Death Touch until end of turn.
Okay. Sure. It's not trash. This is just does its job. It only blocks once though. Is the sad part. It's not a good Death Toucher because it's got 1 toughness.
No, but it was removal back when removal was
It's
really
really bad
hard to come by.
removal though. I think you wouldn't play this. You would do a lot. Not
It's a
to play
2 mana
this.
2/1. You probably would play it a lot of times.
Oh shoot! Like it's still not great though, Johnny.
No, this card is bad. This card of the Deceivers.
I'm like even in its time period, I don't think you'd want to play this card ever.
Probably not. Yeah.
All right, now it's 1 and a black for a 2/1. You may look at it at any time. The top card of your library, that is. With 2, reveal the top card of your library. If it's a spirit, Cruel Deceiver gets +1/+1 in Death Touch until end. So it still is the same idea. Does the
Gets
reveal
bigger.
thingy.
Can do it multiple times now, so it's a threat.
Yeah, but gets +1/+1 instead, which is
And obviously
really
reveals
nice.
spirits, which is way more important.
Yes, obviously, and you are gonna maybe depending on your deck, you'll have more spirits than lands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I think I'll play this card more than that one, but not by a lot, honestly. I think this card is still not that playable.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's filler.
Yep. It lets you do the pay mana to reveal spirits.
Yeah,
and that's what we
what's
like
good
it
about
for.
it, right? Yeah.
Yep. Cursed Ronan is 3 and a black for a 1/1 Bushido 1. Black, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This card's bad.
He was so good.
But, sorry, I thought this card's bad. Bushido 1 is really bad. That's why I said but, as I was trying to say. The Bushido 1's mostly irrelevant, but Shades are really strong.
Shades are just always really good in a limited. Like,
And if you don't know, a Shade is a creature that has black. It gets +1/+1 until end of turn that you can use as much as you want.
and there are cards that did it in other colors, but generally speaking, black is where they put this effect.
Yeah.
And most of the cards that had it were blah 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 shade.
Yeah. Nantiku
So-
Shade,
But whenever it's only 1 mana, some of the shades also have abilities that cost more than 1 mana to do it. Whenever it's only 1 mana,
really
it means that you can just keep all your mana untapped and do something crazy with it on blocks, on attacks, whatever. You can fireball people with it. This card, because of how bad the combat was in that format, this card was good.
Yep, I believe that for sure.
Now it is 2 and a black for a 2/1. Cursed Ronan it has the shade ability. Black, it gets +1/+1, and its honor effect is whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, add 1 black. As I might have said last time we talked about this, I think that the honor effects that add mana will be relatively weak, like pretty weak. So I like this card specifically because this one has something to do with that mana, even at low amounts. If you add 1 by tapping out and playing your card on curve, you still can just Cursed Ronan's a 3/1 until a 3/2 until
Exactly.
That's fine. I got no problems with that. This card's sweet. I like this one a lot. And also, honestly, a Shade is still good. Shades are worse than they used to be, but not by a lot.
They're still just good though.
Yeah, this card should be very strong. I think I'd pick this very early.
Yep, it looks pretty decent. Dance of Shadows, 3 black, Sorcery Arcane. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain fear until end of turn.
It wins the game.
It's bad. Wins the game though.
That's all it does. So fear means, if people don't know, fear is can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and black creatures. Until
If your opponent's not playing a black deck, they're unblockable.
That's the thing. Is like this means all your creatures have +1/+0 and probably are unblockable. Like you just win the game with it.
So it's just Alpha Strike, win the game. Woohoo! Tiny pumps, very expensive for the effect, but it doesn't matter because it wins the game.
Yeah, it's not a good card.
No. All right, new one.
Now it's +1 in a black instead of 5 mana.
Yeah.
Creatures you control get +1/+1 in-game menace until a different kind of can't be blocked, a much more reasonable kind of can't be blocked.
Yep.
One that I like a lot. This also will just win the game sometimes. Yep. The other thing it might do, though, is look like it wins the game, so your opponent has to make bad blocks. And I like that a lot. Yep. I think at 2 mana, this card might be very strong.
Yeah.
I don't know how high to pick it. Probably pretty high.
I think you gotta wait, though. I don't think...
You have to know what deck you are, though.
If you have a couple cards that are leaning towards aggressive or wide strategies, this will become really strong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
may not. Yeah, it doesn't go in any deck, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, you're right. You're right. Not quite as high as we'd said.
Yeah,
as I'd said.
Oh, yeah, and I was looking at rates for what this kind of thing is, and that's how I came at 2, is because there's a card... There's like a Driven to Despair and a bunch of other stuff.
Driven to Despair is such a card.
Yeah, and I was like, well, that one adds on...
Sup, Tyson?
Oh, Jesus Christ. What?
Sorry.
Oh, hey, Tyson.
Oh,
never mind. I'm so sorry. I thought he was like Sun Titan.
I think he's
how does that
but...
fit? No. This is a glitch that happens. So the view counter on this is never correct.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's all over the place. So.
Well, either way. Sweet.
It's actually nice because then I don't think
about it. Yeah.
I don't like thinking about how many viewers are there. I just like doing my thing.
Yeah.
And responding to the chat. I
Right.
care about the chat. I don't care about the viewers. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I came to this. Is like that makes them discard and has the other extra text. It's a rare though, but this one I'll just give the +1/+0, and I think that's really good and really nice. All right, next one, Death Curse Ogre, 5 and a black, 3/3 creature ogre warrior. Whenever it's put into a graveyard from play, so it dies, each player loses 3 life.
This is terrible. 6 mana, 3/3 with honestly a downside. Like
it's like if it's not a downside, it's
still really bad.
Still really, really bad.
This
like
rate is awful.
This
How
card
could they make
is
these cards?
Garbage trash.
I can't believe this.
Oh, I forgot to do this.
I said that already, not too long ago, but I cannot believe how bad this card is.
This is like a thing. View counts are never correct. Just turn it off.
Yeah.
I don't know how to turn it off on this thingy though. I'll do it at some point.
Dude, look like take
Piece of tape.
piece of tape.
Better for the mental. True. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it off. No, that doesn't work.
What I'm thinking is put Streamlabs out of the...
There. I did it.
There we go.
Oh, damn. Anyway, so the new one's way more.
Okay.
End the game.
5 and a black for a 5/5 menace. That's amazing. Whenever it enters the battlefield or dies or is discarded, each player loses 2 life. So I like that because it still keeps
the pressure that it's
the pressure that it hurts you, but it's so that we can hurt them too, baby.
Yeah.
6 mana 5/5 menace is always big menace creatures are always really strong. I love them.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, ooh, let's make a closer. You know what I mean?
Tyson hasn't even finished the MTG Arena tutorial, so...
Well, that's fine. Hey, if you want to hang out, you can. If you don't, whatever. If you don't know what's going on. This is me, as the title says, redesigning every card from this block.
From
it's
the first 3
of them.
Kamigawa sets.
Yep. Because there's a new one from this plane coming out that's clearly way better designed, but, whatever.
So we're working on how bad the old one was.
This is also the first set that I started actually playing Magic. I learned about it way before, but... I didn't actually play Magic
games,
really at all until this set, or this block. All right, next one. Death Denied. X black instant arcane. Return X creature cards from your graveyard to your hand.
The card was good and limited in the right decks. It wasn't
came back in Modern Masters.
Yeah, I liked it in Modern Masters a lot. It has the right thing to do. You can recycle a bunch of creatures that sacrifice themselves or whatever, or you can just bring back 2 or 3 really strong creatures. Cards. Oh. You found out how to get rid of this.
Oh, you're so smart. Thank you so much.
Slobs.
Oh, I love you.
Go Slobs.
Okay, so we didn't change it. The card's great.
Yeah, dude, I like this card.
This card's very good.
It's definitely a specific kind of dex card to be strong.
Yeah.
But even in the decks that it's not strong in, it definitely does something.
Check this shit out. You're just going nuts. The slow black deck. You can just
you can infinite with this somehow.
Soul Shift.
Oh yeah, Soul Shift. That was what it did before as well. But this time you can Soul Shift the Death Denied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just going. Okay. All right, next. Death Knell Kami is 1 black for a 0/1 flying spirit with Soul Shift 1.
Oh my goodness.
You're getting back those shitty guys. 2, it gets +++ until end of turn. You can use it as many times as you want, but you sacrifice it at the end of turn.
So the cool thing about some shades, is, I guess all shades, generally speaking, is that they are just that most of the time. This one has flying. That's why it costs 2 more, or 2 instead of 1. That's why you have to sacrifice it at a turn. There's just a lot of drawbacks, though. Yeah. Card's bad. Yep. Card's definitely bad.
Yeah, and you had to have one of those 1-cost Soul Shift guys.
For the Soul Shift to matter. 1-cost spirit. So you'd have your Bile Urchin make them lose 1 more life.
That's true. It's almost as though you stream all the time, Tyson. Thinking emoji. Have you considered making YouTube content so that it, bumps the people who want to come see your stream? You have a good stream. You're good at streaming. Also, that's why you should do content with me, because
That was the plan.
Your streams are great too. They're like chill vibe. I like it. Me and Christian were talking about how we like watching your streams.
Weird. All right, cool. I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down.
They're chill vibes, and everyone has different ways that they stream.
I'm just sitting there like hurting myself to think.
Yeah.
The whole time,
know.
and
It's
that's
interesting.
it. That's
I
the
don't
whole
know,
thing.
dude. I honestly don't
That's
know.
the whole stream.
But yeah, I mean, shit. That's how we got the number of subscribers. Which is just the way we do content. Anyway, so yes, we'll go on and see the next one.
It is now instead a 1 and a black 1/1 flying, which I like better.
So you
than
can
a
do
0/1.
something with it before you
And
ever...
then instead of costing 2 to do the +1/+1 and sacrifice, it costs 1. So now it's shading, which is why we don't.
But it still
the
dies.
drawback is just sacrificing instead of
Yep.
the thing.
Costs
This
you
card,
two, yeah.
this card is better. It being a 1/1 flyer is nice. I didn't even think about it as a 0/1 flyer. If they don't have dudes, you can still like
block it.
you can ninjutsu it with this,
you can ninjutsu
even with
it.
the 0/1. But with this one, it's more reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this card's not good either. But it's not bad. There will be decks that want this card.
Yeah, so it's like a 1 mana, or it's a 2 mana 1/1 flying, so you can ninjutsu it if you want to.
But it gives you the ability to, once, you can fireball.
Yeah, which is kind of nice. Or if you block, or it gets blocked, you can kill something bigger.
And Soul Shift 1's a lot better now.
Yeah, because all the
1 mana
instant
instant sorceries, we got really
Plenty
good
of
cards
them.
there. Good cards there.
Yeah.
So this is probably good.
Yeah.
What do you say? He's considered it, but he's lazy. Yeah.
About the
yeah,
YouTube
that's
thing.
fair.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Death Mask Nazumi is 2 and a black for a 2/2. That as long as you have 7 or more cards in hand, it gets fear +2/+1 in fear. This is what's strange, right?
What?
Is they have a bunch that say as long as you have more cards than your opponent, and then some that say 7 or more, and it just doesn't make any. There's no consistency with
This
it.
card's
too.
also bad. 3 mana 2/2. With
That
no other
almost
text.
never happens. With no other text. Yeah, because the thing is, the black deck, the way the black deck would get more cards than its opponent would be to make them discard. There's a bunch of cards that make your opponent discard in black in this block.
But not a lot of draw
But
cards.
for some reason, this is what they chose to make. Instead of this even saying if you have more cards than your opponent. So it doesn't make any sense to me that they did this.
Yeah, this is a weird one. I don't like it. 2 and a black now for a 2/3. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, it gets +2/+1 and menace. I guess he gave fear in the old one. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So the menace. So this becoming a 4/4 menace. That's pretty good.
Yep.
You have to get
Heck
Heck Bent, which is a little tough, but like I think this card's fine. As a 2/3 for 3, that's the other thing. Is like thinking about its vanilla fillarness. 2/3 for 3 is the kind of filler you're used to.
You're used to.
It's
Yeah.
like you're like, all right.
Yeah, you wouldn't pick a 2/3 for 3 vanilla anymore, almost at all.
Ever.
But as long as it has text that will ever come up, it's a lot
playable.
better.
Yeah,
It's a good filler. You'll like it.
What was the thing I was gonna go for? There was something about this. I think.
This is a lot harder to block. The fear is harder to block. Is that what's going on?
I can't quite remember. I'll hopefully get to what it was.
Okay.
What my thought was. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, maybe you'll get refreshed when you see this other stuff. Let's
Yeah.
go. Death of a Thousand Stings. 4 and a black. Instant arcane. Target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life.
That's the effect of the card. That's it. We did it.
At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in your hand than each opponent, you may return it from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, I remember what the thing was.
What was the thing?
It matters for this, actually. It's the more cards in your hand. No, go to the top. Yeah. Because it's more this ability than the other one.
Yeah.
It's rewarding you for being on the draw. Something we don't get to see very often, and it's very interesting, and I think that's part of why they went for it so hard. Because rewarding you for being on the draw is something Magic wants to do as often as it can, but it can't ever figure it out. It's figured it out a couple of times.
Okay, but hold on. The same thing would work, though, if you have more cards in hand than your opponent.
That's why I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the more cards in your hand than an opponent.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It wasn't
I'm
about
so
Death
sorry.
Mask and Nazumi. It was about
That mechanic.
Magic the Gathering and Kamigawa. It was very interesting they went for it, and I think it worked because that's what you wanted to do in that limited. It just sucks that it worked.
There's got to be better ways.
There are better ways. There's
could just-
Neither the White Orchid, you know?
Yeah, Night of the White Orchid is so much better. Yeah. So, well, what can you do? It's just if you have less than your opponent is a thing that works a lot, too. Like you have less creatures or
Balancing
less,
effects.
Yeah, balancing effects. All right, so yeah. So 5 mana to drain 1 as an instant, but you get it back if you have more cards than your opponent. Cool.
So the thing was about this card is getting back a spell that you can cast over and over again is really good in this limited.
It's an arcane spell, too.
Yeah, exactly. It's an arcane spell that does something you get back for free. That's so awesome.
And the
So
slow
they had
format,
to-
so it's actually putting pressure in a
They
way.
had to overcost it, and they just went too far. And so it's bad. It's bad. How about that? I said all the things. I said all the things that matter.
There's more to
so,
it.
No, there's I see the different changes,
Yeah,
but the point
you
is,
gotta read it.
we cheapened this card first. Is the main thing that
the most
matters about this
important
card.
thing.
Is we went down to 2 and a black. to make this a tribal instant spirit instead. It still only siphons 1 life, but we changed the requirement to bring it back.
Yeah.
It still comes back for free. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, you may return Death of 1,000 Instincts from your graveyard to your hand. This does the job of this other one for a slightly different archetype, but lets you go over and over again.
Yep.
Shooting them for 1, getting your tribal instant spirit payoff. I love it. This is exactly the kind of thing. I think 3 mana is exactly where that kind of card needs to be.
Yep. I think I did a good job here.
I think this card needs to be in a specific deck to be any good, but it is good in that deck.
You need to be... I think you need to be caring about casting it.
I was going to say. I think it's not going to be... I don't think it's going to quite be the... what do you call it deck? The splicing deck, because you're trying to keep your cards in hand very few, down to 1 or fewer.
It's going to be you have dudes in play that trigger.
Yes, dudes in play that say, when you cast a spirit, do a thing. Then you'll be like, oh yeah, I'll just Death of 1,000 things.
Or if you get a lot of discard stuff, this gives you discard fodder. You don't have to cast it. You can discard it.
Oh yeah, and then it just comes right back. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like this card.
Next, Devouring Greed, 2 black, sorcery, arcane. As additional cost to cast it, you may sacrifice any number of spirits. Target player loses 2 life plus 2 more life for each spirit you sacrifice, then you gain that much.
Okay, so baseline, it is 2 black, siphon 2 from target player. Then you can sacrifice some spirits to give it to do more. This card is very bad, because the only way it ever does anything is if you have a whole bunch of spirits.
And you just win the game by sacrificing your whole board.
Cool, and I could have attacked for 2 turns instead.
Yeah, you'd be fine.
It has application, it's just not good.
Yeah. New one.
Black, as an addition to as additional cost to cast Devouring Greed, discard any number of cards instead of sacrificing. As you cast Devouring Greed, copy it for each card discarded this turn. That includes any with Devouring Greed and before. And each card discarded this turn, not by you, by anyone. So if you mind rotted your opponent, 2 more. You may choose new targets for the copy, and it deals 1 damage to any target, and you gain 1 life. I really like this card. It can be a finisher. It usually, I think, is going to kill a creature or 2, is what the plan is.
Yep.
Get
your hand low because you're trying to get there.
Yeah. So I think this card is bad, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But I do like it a lot, and if you have the stuff to make your opponent discard, is where I'm mostly thinking.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of yourself discarding. You can make Devouring Greed be a normal removal spell that gains you some life, and I think that's when it's good.
Yep. I think it's really good if you can make your opponent discard cards, and if you have enough things that really pay you off for discarding your own and having a really low hand size.
Yeah.
But you're not. Doing this for value, doing it just flat as it is really bad. It's super bad. So this is.
Oh yeah. You can pay 2 mana to deal. I didn't even think about that. You can do it with no copies.
Yes.
That's not nothing.
Yeah. If there is a thing you care about that's like a small
1 toughness creature, yeah.
But it's an important one. Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't think about that as an option.
But yeah, I think that a lot of times it's going to be, which you'll see a lot of these later. It's going to be I get 1,000,000 triggers by doing what I'm doing here. So.
Yeah.
Next. Distress, black, sorcery. Target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card and they discard it.
Yeah, it's just Thoughtseize, but instead of costing you 2 life, it costs you 2 black mana. It's a good card. In Constructed, it would have been, but in Limited, I don't think it was anything.
Interesting. I actually feel like how slow the Limited is, it could have been maybe something.
Maybe it was. Black decks just weren't that common. The black that you played was for just the Heroes Whisper.
Yeah, that's true. This is black.
So this black for Distress.
Heroes Whisper, you only needed 1 swamp for it to work.
Right. I mean, you want black to cast it as well. So I shouldn't say black decks weren't common. It's just that the black cards were more. There were more useful black cards than a Distress usually.
Yeah.
So now it is black. Target player reveals their hand. You choose another 1 card from it. That player discards that card. But it also has sweep. So we can return 2 permanents to our hand and copy it to do it twice. So it gives us a mind rot that we get to do it twice. And not twice. We get to Thoughtseize twice.
Yeah.
That's extremely strong. This card seems... this is better than him to Turok whenever it resolves, but obviously the sweep is a drawback.
Unless they have too many lands and you just miss.
Sure, you're right. If they have a non-land and 2 lands and that's their whole hand, then it's not as good as Turok.
Yeah.
But I like this card a lot. It does the thing you're talking about where we're going to lower their hand size. But the problem with black cards with sweep...
Yep.
That's a...
So what we're doing here is sweep just exists in all the colors. And this is going to make it harder for you to have the lower hand size. But what it will let you do is discard cards from play.
Okay.
There's a bunch of cards that you want to be discarding cards.
I got to see some more of those because the last one we saw was not. It didn't give you anything super bonus for it. It gave you the extra effects, but
totally. No, yeah. You're not going to do it on everything. There's a little bit of some want you to do it one way, some want you to do it another way, and they do work together.
Yeah.
But sweep is just going to say, sorry. The downside is that it could be turning off your
Heckbent.
Your Heckbent stuff.
Okay. Tyson likes this art.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah,
he's pretty interesting. Yeah,
he's very concerned. Magic has some really sick art, especially if you're thinking macabre.
Yeah,
look up Okay, like Seb McKinnon is just really good. S-E-B McKinnon. His art is just really cool, very aesthetic, creepy, and great, but it's not like wild. If you haven't seen it, what's it called? The one, the 4 black sorcery. It's like got a mouth inside of a mouth inside of a mouth, like the.
I don't know.
I can't remember. Never mind. Ignore me. Moving on.
There's some good ones in Magic.
Yeah. Eradicate. 2 black. Remove target non-black creature from the game. So exile target non-black creature, and then you extract all copies. So search their graveyard, hand, and library for all with the same name and get rid of them.
It's a removal spell. We liked it.
We absolutely played it in limited because it killed things.
Yep.
The extraction never happened really, but you did get to see their deck in hand, which is cool.
Which is huge, actually, unlimited sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Now it is just 2 black, exile a creature with sweep. This card's incredible. This is pack one, pick one instantly.
Yeah, this card's
so
awesome.
fast.
It's so sick.
Being a
This
sorcery
card
is good
so
because
powerful.
otherwise, oh my goodness. But oh my gosh, this card is so bonkers.
This fucks. This card fucks.
Yeah, pack one, pick one so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
We love our good black removal spells.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Love to hear that. All right, exile into darkness, 4 and a black, sorcery. Target player sacrifices a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. Such a weird line of text. I've never seen it before. The sacrificing a creature but with a condition on it. It's very weird. I haven't seen that before.
It happens.
At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have more cards in hand than each opponent, you may return exile into darkness from your graveyard to your hand. Just same text as Death of a Thousand Stings.
But instead, we're paying the same amount of mana to make opponent sacrifice a small creature.
At sorcerer speed, though.
Yeah.
So you couldn't leave up mana for stuff.
Yeah. This has the same problem as the other one, but it's better card.
Ish.
It
only kills
requires
small
they have
creatures.
small creatures, yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Love the tool cover art type shit. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I used to know that guy's name, Alex something.
All right. Well, now it is
4 and a black target player sacrifices a creature, period. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 1 or a few cards in your hand, you can return it to your hand. So it has the same text as the other one we just did, the Death of a Thousand
But
Things.
since it's removal...
But it's removal. This
Yeah.
card is extremely strong. This card is unreal strong, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, too good, I think, maybe. Just like repeatable, always getting rid of their creature. If they're down to 1 creature in play, they lose the game, I think.
Maybe so, yeah. No, and it may be that we don't want this to be this way anymore. But, well, I think this is one we'll test out. It's 5 mana. You gotta remember, it's 5 mana
is a
every
lot.
time.
5 is a lot, you're right.
You're dedicating your entire turn. If you're an aggro deck, you're dedicating your entire turn every time.
Yeah. This could be bad in that way. Well, we definitely should try it. I think this card might be too good, is what I'm thinking.
And you gotta have no other options.
I want to pick this pretty early, though.
I do think it's probably pretty good, so we'll see. I think gotta be playing things a little bit like play them. My brain can't work.
Footsteps.
Footsteps to Gorio. 2 and a black, sorcery arcane. Return target creature card from your graveyard to play. Sacrifice at the end of turn.
This card's terrible. It literally does 0 things. In limited, in constructed, almost always even. There are combos you can do with this in other formats.
So very cool design because it enters battlefield effects and dies triggers.
It gets enter battlefield effects, dies triggers. It gets you to do it whatever you're trying to do with the creature. If it has some cool abilities or something, or
if it has haste, you can attack with it.
Yeah, but it has to have haste. It doesn't give it haste.
Right.
It's not an instance. You can't take it on their turn and block.
You can blink the creature to keep it. It's very weird.
It's very narrow is the thing about this card. So it doesn't work in limited. Narrow cards very rarely.
It's a cool design. I actually really like that they made this card though.
I like the card.
I think that it's one of those cards where you're like, oh, it doesn't really do anything, and you're like, yeah, this one doesn't really do anything, but I'm glad they made it. It's not one that I would have wanted to change, or like if I was redesigning it for constructed and everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, we did change it, but not a ton.
Now it is 2 and a black for a tribal instant spirit.
Instant.
Tribal instant spirit. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So there's 2 things you can do with this Footsteps of the Gorio at instant speed. The first one's pretty obvious. You use it on their turn and block, and then it dies at the end of the turn.
That's the obvious one.
Great. The other thing you can do is the way that the wording is on this, and a lot of these things, it says it sacrifices at the beginning of the next end step. You are allowed to cast spells in the end step. So during your opponent's end of turn, you can cast the spell, bring something back, and then it goes to your turn before it sacrifices. It doesn't sacrifice till your end step, and since it was there since the beginning of your turn, it's no longer summoning sick, it can attack.
Yep.
That's the thing you would more often use it for, actually.
Yep, exactly. That's what we're going for with this card.
It's another part of the cheat deck we're talking about, I bet.
Yep.
You know, the things you can do where, well, we have a few things that we just we have some really cool things we can get for way cheaper, and this is probably a good way to do it because we have some discard stuff.
Another option with it is you're playing black-white black-white reanimator or whatever. You play blink cards with it, and you'll get to keep them. And there's
I forgot to say that's another thing.
There's
that
some 1 mana, blink. There's 1 mana blink instance. So
yeah, so if you bring something back. With Footsteps of the Gorio, even the old version,
yep.
and then you flicker the creature that you brought into play,
it'll stay.
It will no longer have the ability of sacrifice that creature in a turn,
yep.
because the game sees it as a whole new
card,
creature.
Quote, unquote.
What's Tyson saying?
He said, "I spilled Dr. Pepper on this keyboard, and I think it's RIP. It works, but so sticky. I'm so sorry."
Boo.
You could just take off all the keys and
clean it off.
There should be a way to clean it without hurting it. You need to turn it off, obviously, but you know that.
Yeah, just dunk it in a bowl.
You know
of
more
water.
about computer tech than I do. I don't know what I'm talking
Just dunk it in a bowl of water. And...
That works.
Does it?
So you have to make sure it's not on, and you have to I think there's a solution you should use instead, but
I was gonna say there's no circuitry in there. There has to be.
the water won't damage it if you dry it off.
Huh.
You can clean electronics with water if you're not on.
Look at how much I know, dude.
And then you just make sure they're dry before you turn them on.
I'm sure he knew that.
All right. Perfect. All right, next one. Genji of the Fens, just like all the other Genjus. Black enchants a swamp. Until on a turn, the swamp becomes a 2/2 black spirit creature with the Shade ability, which is black. It gets +1/+1 until on a turn. Whenever the swamp dies, you return the Genju enchantment to your hand.
This one's also looking pretty good. It's not nearly as good as that 4-mana one earlier that had Bushido 1.
Yeah.
But because you have to spend 2 extra mana on your turn just to get a 2/2 in the first place, and
Yeah.
a 3rd mana kinda because it's got to be a creature that attacks. You
Right.
know?
Yeah, it's got to be it's a swamp, so that's your land.
Yeah. So it's a fair bit worse than the other one, but this still seems okay, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we kept it we used our new templating of Genjus and just...
So instead, it's now 2 and a black for enchant permanent you control it becomes a 2/2 black spirit, loses all of its other abilities, but it gains the shade ability, and whenever enchanted permanent dies, return that permanent to its owner's hand. Yeah, this will be really good because it's a 3-mana shade that just requires something else to be there. 3-mana 2/2 shade is
and you'll get back whatever you
bowler
did.
actually.
Yep.
This card should be very good.
Yep. All right, next one. Ghostlit Stalker, black for a 1/1 that has 1/1 creature spirit. Oh my goodness. That has 4 and a black tap. Target player discards 2 cards. Play this as a sorcery. 5 black, discard it. Target player discards 4 cards. Play this ability only time you can play a sorcery.
What?
Yeah.
Large amounts of discard cards, by the way, in this game are kind of unreal.
They're unreal and horrible at the same time. Because if they have the cards, it's unreal. But it's really easy for players to not actually have the cards because they played their cards.
Yeah. So it's like, if you do it, it's one of the most powerful things you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And whenever you don't do it, which is the vast majority of times, well, you got this nothing.
Yeah.
This whole lot of nothing. Yeah, this card is not good at all.
Wild
the mana costs
design,
are just
though,
too
right? Like a creature with a tap ability that makes them discard 2 cards.
So part of what made this card conceptually good in this format is because people want to have so many cards in their hands.
Yeah.
So you're like, dude, I can just have this creature and make them discard 2 every turn.
So big.
Yeah, that's really good. Except for it's 5 mana.
Yeah.
So I use my whole turn to do nothing to the board.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a black for a 1/1 creature spirit. 2 and a black, tap, target player discards a card. And 4 black, discard it to make somebody discard 3 cards. So I think this card is a lot better. 2 and a black, tap, discard a card is a really strong ability in the late game. Yeah. So it's funny because this is earlier game than that stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why that card's bad. Because that's so far in the game.
This card is really strong, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. The one we have printed here is missing some text you might not notice from the other one. Both of the other cards, the original version, say, play this only at the time you could play a sorcery. The new version does not say that. Mm-hmm. The big thing about that is you have priority during the draw phase on both turns. Mm-hmm. So when your opponent draws their first card for the turn, you can immediately use Ghostlit Stalker's ability to black tap, make them discard a card.
An instant...
If it's their only card in hand and it's just a creature, it's going to the graveyard. And you can do that to them every turn. Mm-hmm. This might be oppressive because of that. I could easily see this not being fun and not good.
We will make the decision then, and the easy fix is to add sorcery speed.
Yeah, and that still makes this a fine card because I think there is a card from this set that has a tap ability that makes people discard a card every turn.
Yep, it's Nazumi.
It's a Nazumi that does that, and I like that card a lot.
Yeah,
and it was good in its time because just doing that every turn in a slow format is
actually valuable.
Lots of value. I don't know about the channel in this. I think the channel's really bad most of the time.
Yep, but it's just I wanted to, it does thing.
Yeah.
You could play it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a world where I would.
You're playing against that blue-white super big hand deck.
Get rid of 3 of them, baby. Can't counter it.
You don't.
Except for with Quash. Or whatever it's called. Not Quash.
Squelch.
Squelch, thank you.
Got him.
We got Squelch to counter the channel abilities. I forgot about that.
We did it, see? We did it. Gibbering Kami, 3 and a black for a 2/2 flying soul shift 3.
Not good. But not literally unplayable for the time, but not good.
Because there's a 2/2 flying that got you a card back, maybe.
Yeah. You didn't want to play this card. You just could sometimes.
You just could, because flyers mattered a lot. So. Yeah.
Now it's a 2/3 with Death Touch. Still 4 mana, still Soul Shift 3. It lost its flying, but now it's an okay blocker, Yeah. You're happy to have this in play to trade with something and Soul Shift down. This card is still weak, in my opinion, at 4 mana. You can't attack with it very well. It's whatever. I don't want to pick this card. It's a filler.
It's filler, for sure. You just want this filler to be effective because the point with this filler is that, oh shit, I didn't get enough removal. Okay,
Yeah.
fine, I'll take this.
Yep.
And I think that one of the cool things about Death Touch creatures is when they're not the great Death Touch creatures, they're really good at doing that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
You just put
they're
them in play and they
because
can't
they're
really
not high
attack.
picks, so they'll be there in the
Yeah.
pack. You'll find them, but it'll give you that out to be like, okay, I'll grab this removal because I don't have anything else.
Yeah, and we talk about Death Touch as removal. It's not that. It just takes a deck that has low removal. It allows it to survive situations where you usually use removal to survive. Because if your opponent alpha strikes, you block their best threat, and it dies.
Well, a lot of times, yeah, a lot of times Death Touch plays out better than a lot of onboard threat or onboard things like that, because a lot of times your opponent will trade. They're
willing to do it. Yeah.
And so that means action is happening. It's not stalling the board. It's more like your opponent goes, shit, I want to play my big creatures. Okay, I will swing with my 3/3 or my 4/4 and lose my 4/4, my 4/3 or whatever it is to this less good
so
card.
next turn I can play my
so I
biggest
can play my
creature
6/6
and get through later.
Yeah, that's what, and I think that makes me. That's why Death Touch plays so well.
Yep.
All right, next card. Nat Miser, 1. It's black for a 1/1 Rat Shaman that each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 1.
Absolute trash.
Magic.
We even talked about it
Please.
being big hand size being the deck that you wanted to play. This card didn't do anything. It still didn't help against
No
that.
one's going to have 7 cards at like all the time,
No.
so they'll have 7 cards for one moment when they do a thing, and then they'll no more.
Yeah.
Even in this format.
Right. Even in the deck that wants that. It's not going to matter. Now it's black for a 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, each player discards a card. That includes yourself. That's why it's a 2/1.
Yep.
So you're losing card value, kind of.
Yeah.
You're actually not. So in this situation, because you get a 2/1 for 1, you have to discard a card, they have to discard a card. If you play a deck where discarding a card is less painful, this card's amazing.
Yeah.
You get a 1-mana 2/1 with almost no downsides because you're also making them discard a card.
Yep.
This card's just really strong. I don't think you pick it super early unless you know you want to be in an aggro deck. This card's just a really good medium pick.
I really like this for the aggro deck I've created.
Yeah, I'm excited for this card in particular.
It really
actually.
does a lot here because it's, it feeds into everything you want, and you get a really good rate to hit your opponent with. A deck that isn't aggressive, it actually feels kind of bad because losing the card and only getting this 2/1 that the rest of your deck doesn't support. So you're not picking this unless you're aggressive.
Yeah, so it's not an early pick. This is a synergy pick.
Yeah, exactly. And you may not be. I do think that you may not be have as many of the discard cards with it and still play it if you're aggressive.
Yeah, just be aggressive. And
You're like, okay, I lose a card, but so do they.
So it's fair.
Yeah, I'll discard my 5-drop because I only have 3 lands. We're fine. We'll keep going. Yeah.
Good card.
Goryo's Vengeance, 1 black, instant arcane. Return target legendary creature card from your graveyard to play. Gains haste, and then exile at the end of turn. Has splice for 2 and a black.
So as I was realizing whenever I was talking about this on the white day, I talked about how few legendary creatures there were in this set. There's actually a lot more than I thought.
Silly Billy.
So I was worried that some of your we had one card that was Legendary Matters.
Day
so
of
far.
Destiny.
Day of Destiny. I was worried that card just was going to be not very good most of the time.
Duty as well.
I was more talking about Day of Destiny.
Yeah, Day of Destiny you have to have legendaries.
But it actually probably will be good because almost half the creatures I feel like are going to be legendary.
A little bit less, but yeah.
Because all the rare creatures are legendary. Every single last
Yes.
one. I didn't know that. So that's a big deal. So this card probably will still be similar to that in our version you have, which I'm excited about.
There are about 550. No, there's about not 500. There's about not 550. 65. About 300 creatures in the set. And about 100 of them
Are legendary, probably.
legendary.
Yeah, that seems right. That's a good number.
Yeah.
So Goryo's Vengeance's old version was a constructed amazing card. I don't think it was good and limited just because it's a one-time thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we kept it. Well, we
It's
reduced
exactly
it
the same,
splice.
except for Splice is now 2 mana. Okay, yeah, this seems like a fun card to splice with. You can do it in the cheaty deck, but the cheating I don't know when this and Through the Breach are gonna be good. I'm not sure.
Thinking this one is the one that works the least because of how specific it is, and you lose the creature.
Yeah.
Exiles it. So
Yeah.
We'll see though.
We'll see.
I thought it was definitely worth keeping as it is. I did reduce the splice cost. I don't think I did it on purpose. Actually, I think my brain thought it was 2 for the splice as well.
Oh, you just typed it in.
But I was
you
like,
had to retweet.
but then I saw it. Well, no, it was when I first did it, and when I saw it again, I was like, fine, that's
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
It's not doing nothing weird. I think it'll be not very great, but I do think what I like is it serves that similar purpose like you want in the cube, because there's you're only going to see about half the cards every time you draft this if it's 8 people, a little bit more than half the cards. So having more of the similar effect will allow you to try it more. I think this will probably be one of the worst of all of the cheating cards.
Yeah, it seems like pretty rough. But I do want to see us get the cheating plan going at some point.
There's very specific cards that are good
This
with
one seems better, actually, partially just because we do like discarding cards in black.
That's true, but I think so. It's not very good with the dragons. It's not very good with Myojins.
Oh, it exiles them. Ah.
Not good with the dragons. Not good with the Myojins.
Because it doesn't get a token.
It is good with Godo.
Okay, 1 card.
No. There's a okay number that it's good with. Godo is good with. It's good with. Oh, it was on the tip of my tongue and then I lost it.
Anything that sacrifices is okay, but I don't know if any of the legendaries do that.
A couple. 2 or 3 actually. No, I had it on the tip of my tongue. There was like a good one that it's actually legitimately good with.
Have an attack trigger, or what's I have? Just huge.
ETB, I think.
Okay. Either way.
Whatever. Okay. Well,
I expect it to be bad. We'll see.
Oh, Unspeakable has a ETB.
Oh, sure. It's really good with Unspeakable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next. Gut Retro Oni, 3 black for a 5/4 creature, Demon Spirit, Trample. Beginning of your upkeep, discard a card if you don't control an ogre.
Okay. This card's really good. Actually, as is. Okay, so, like, obviously, getting your hand size low is kind of what we're planning on doing with the black deck some of the time, depending on what cards you're picking up. But, sometimes you don't have any cards in your upkeep. So who cares? We're playing an aggro deck, so we're emptying our hand so fast. So this is our top of curve. 5 mana, 5/4 trample is huge for that time. It's playable now. It's good now, actually. It's good now.
With this downside?
No, with no text. I'm saying 5 mana, 5/4 trample with no text is really good now.
That is good. That is good. In black, yeah, it's nice.
Like it's above rate by a fair amount.
Yeah.
So having this downside on it would be not completely unreasonable.
Yeah.
So I like this card a lot as is, honestly. Let's see what you did. Hell yeah, look at that, baby. I knew it. Each player discards a card, makes it a lot better, but we're still sitting with the 4 mana. Oh, it's 4 mana.
4 mana now.
Oh, wow. This card's way too good, right?
No, it's fine.
4 mana, 5/4 trample. High, quite a bit above rate.
Yeah.
Beginning of your upkeep, each player discards a card. I guess not. Okay, so the thing is they may not discard a card either.
Yeah.
Because once you have this out.
You gotta remember, dude, like, the not all cards are at the CC plus level of their rates and everything when you're playing limited, and we're playing Cube too.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't trying to say way too good as in like broken or anything. I was trying to say too good as in like I wouldn't have printed it this heavy.
Oh sure,
is more what I meant.
Sure,
sorry. But
I wanted to push it a little bit because the deck is supposed to be aggressive.
Yeah, this is really aggressive. This is really good. But I also now realize that they don't discard a card until your upkeep, anyways.
Yep.
So they get a whole turn cycle to just empty their hand or to like kill it or whatever. So yeah, that's really reasonable. I like this. This is a very strong card. I'll pick this early.
Yep. Next is Hand of Cruelty. Well, we
know what the hand
because we did the hand
from before, hand
white. But yeah.
So
black for a creature human samurai, protection from white, Bushido 1, 2/2. It's the original one.
It was really good in standard.
It's really good in standard because it had pro white, and it was actually decent, like a 2/2 for 2. That was if it got into combat with another creature would be a 3/3, which that's good. That's pretty good.
It was very reasonable at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Our new version, instead of having Bushido, just has honor whenever the creature enters the battlefield under your control. It gains +1/+1 until end of turn.
It's fine.
Simple. I like this card. I think it won't be very good because the black mostly will hold it back.
Yeah, if we're playing it on turn 2, it's gonna be a little harder.
Yeah, exactly. That's the main problem with it. If you have a heavy honor deck, this would go in it though.
Yep. These were supposed to be the samurai versions of knights, which is a thing that they do a lot.
Yep.
And I wanted to maintain that, so I kept the protection from white. But if I was gonna do that, I had to keep it at black.
Reasonable.
Yep. All right, next card. Hero's Demise. 1 in black. Instant. Destroy target legendary creature.
With how many legendary creatures there are, I guess this card was good, and I just didn't realize it.
It's probably okay.
It's conditional removal at 2 is pretty good.
Yeah. It was okay. It was
especially because it hits bombs. You know, it hits every bomb.
Yep. I think you definitely played it.
Yeah, so we're gonna make it 1 mana and do it again. I like it. It's good.
I just felt like I wanted it because I knew there was enough legendary creatures and the powerful creatures were legendary. But I felt like since it missed so much with most people's decks that it should be cheap.
Half of cards.
It should be very cheap.
Yeah, totally reasonable. I think this card will be very good.
Yep. All right. He Who Hungers.
You probably picked it pretty early even.
Probably because you know it's going to work if you're in a black deck.
And it hits all the best cards.
Yep. 4 in a black, 3/2 flying, legendary creature spirit. It has Soul Shift 4 and 1 sacrifice a spirit, so it can include itself, and you Thoughtseize someone.
Choose a card. Look at their hand. Choose a card from it. They discard it. Only as a sorcery. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You can choose lands.
Choose a card. Whoa, that's
this
huge.
lets you discard lands and you can choose them.
Okay, so it's a 5 mana, 3/2 flying, Soul Shift 4. Is that ability?
Mana.
Wow, that is really strong.
You can sack yourself if you want to.
That's really strong.
Yeah,
that card's crazy good. Yep.
Ours?
New version is 3 black for a 3/2 flying. Sacrifice a spirit. Target player discards a card of their choice instead. So we toned it down.
Mana.
We toned it down, but it made sure it doesn't cost mana. I think this card is worse, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, no joke.
Wow.
I didn't like that. I didn't like the version of the old one. I was like, wow, really? That's so good and weird and repeatable and...
I think this card is also good.
Yeah, this card's good, but yeah, I just... Jesus.
Yeah. Wow. So yeah, this is make sure. Yeah, I think you picked this kind of high. Not super high, but kind of high.
Yeah. I think it's pretty decent. It's 3/2 flyer for 5, soul shift 4. That's already nice.
Yeah, the making your opponent discard cards will be nice. The soul shift 4 on like we can sacrifice Kiku Hungers to soul shift, like you said.
Yep.
Like,
whatever
it's
we
good.
back. Yep.
It's good.
All right, next, Hideous Laughter. 2 black, instant arcane. All creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn, and you can splice it for 3 black.
It's not a good card.
Nope, seems pretty bad actually. Instant speed -2/-2 is actually pretty cool though. Yeah. That's a good effect in limited.
Interesting combat, but
it's
it hits yours too.
It's a bad board wipe, and in limited you really you put your own shit in play. But
if there's a large combat happening that a lot of people would either bounce off each other or only a couple would die, sometimes it just kills everything.
And that's okay too if you want that, you know.
Because you do it after damage.
The splice is almost impossible.
The splice is impossible, and
if you're thinking like I can splice and cast it, okay.
Oh yeah, creatures were smaller, so it kills more things, but all the creatures it kills are bad.
Yeah.
So you don't play them anyways. You only play the things that it really doesn't kill.
Yeah.
So now it's 2 black tribal instant spirit. All creatures get -2/-2 until end. Splice into instant sorcery 2 black. So it's gonna be doing the thing I said before, where you're gonna play it after damage and kill the whole board.
Now, what I'm thinking with this card is that, like I said, I've said this a couple times. There are a lot more tokens in this than there were before.
Yeah.
This is more that is what it's doing.
Hating on the tokens.
Hating on the tokens is what this is actually doing now.
Pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Other than that, or just I guess if you're playing one of the black slow decks, you can kill out the smaller creatures from the aggro deck.
Sure, that's playable. The aggro deck should be bigger than that most of the time, but not always.
Exactly. All right, next card. Hired Muscles, 1 black for a 2/2. When you cast a spirit or arcane spell, put a key counter on it, and then at the end of turn, if there are 2 or more key counters, you can flip it into Scarmaker, which is a 4/4 that lets you remove a key counter from it to give something fear until end of turn.
Good card.
It seems like a pretty good card. It hits hard, can give evasiveness.
It turns into a 4/4 next turn or the turn after usually if you're playing the right deck for it. Yep. You know, you just gotta get spirits or key.
And becomes not impossible to block. You can attack the turn you're flipping it. Oh no, you can't because it's end step. Okay, well whatever.
Yeah, it's good. It's good though.
Yeah, seems good. New one.
1 black for a 3/2. Whenever you cast a spirit or reveal a spirit card, put a key counter on Hired Muscle. At the beginning of your end step, if there are 2 or more, you transform it into the 4/4 that says remove a key counter from it. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end. I love that.
Yeah.
So this does another thing that we kind of talked about, but this does it in a better way of having a combat trick on board. So this is also useful as a removal spell. The combat tricks on board make the game state very complex really quick. Mm-hmm. So it's nice that this takes a lot of work to get to. Yes. I shouldn't say a lot. It takes work to get to.
It takes work, and so you're not automatically getting there, but yeah.
Yeah. And you will also, I think this will be one of the ones that you'll definitely
just
not
unload.
Flip.
A lot of times, I also think that once you flip it, you might just unload all counters.
Regularly. Yeah, just board wipe your opponent with it.
Just kill a bunch of dudes. And
but I think this is one of the few that you really don't care about flipping it as much as you
build
want
up as much as you can.
It. Yeah. You don't want to. I shouldn't say don't care. You want to flip it, but you're willing to wait.
But what's interesting about that is it makes it more vulnerable to removal.
Yes.
Then. Because then it's like, oh, I waited 2 turns, so now it has 5 counters. Yeah. But now when it goes to try and flip, they just kill it.
Yeah, I think this card's very strong.
Yeah.
I want to pick this pretty early.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Haunted of Night's Reach, 3 and a black, legendary enchantment, shrine. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent discards a card for each shrine you control.
It's bad. It was okay in this limited, but for bad reasons.
Everyone had big hands.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was okay.
We didn't change it because that effect, you can't make it cheaper.
Yeah.
You cannot make this effect cheaper with it being and have it be okay.
It does say target player, so if we want to discard our own cards, we can.
We're allowed. Which, you know, you could want to, but you're not going to want to very often.
Yeah, not very often.
You're probably not playing this very often either, but...
Yeah, it seems pretty rare. Maybe if you already got another shrine and you're like, oh,
against a slow blue deck, you can side it in, and it's probably okay, actually.
Yeah, it's not the worst.
Yeah.
This is not a good card.
No. Yeah. Hirobi Death's Wail, 2 black 4/4 flying legendary creature spirit. Whenever a creature becomes the target of a spell or ability, destroy that creature.
Extremely interesting card. The main problem with this card will always be, and why it's statted so well, your opponent's allowed to just target Hirobi.
With anything.
And it dies.
It just dies. It doesn't even have to be a card. It could just be an ability that taps it and it
taps
dies.
It, deals 1 damage to it, whatever it is, and Hirobi just dies. That's why they were willing to print, at that time period, a 4-mana 4/4 flying for this with this effect. Yeah. It is also obviously positive. You can use your own tap effects to kill their things. And when you're playing Hirobi, you're going to want to try to have some of those in your deck. I still like Hirobi. I think it is still playable because generally speaking, in limited, most targeting things are just removal.
Yeah, cost cards or pump spells.
Yeah, they're you have to cost a whole card. You have to use a whole card to do it, and it's usually already removable.
Yeah, so if you got like your Toils of Night and Day or something in your hand for 1 mana,
Yeah.
or in that time it'd be 3 mana.
Yeah.
You know, you could target 2 things and then they just
They
both
just
die.
die. Yeah. So this has definitely has its uses. I like it a lot.
It was pretty cool.
It was
yeah.
good at the time.
We just made a whole new card.
Sure. 2 black for a 3/4 flying. Whenever a creature card leaves your graveyard, you may pay X life, where X is its mana value. If you do, create a token copy of that creature. Okay, so we have something leave my graveyard because it's going back to my hand. It has to be a creature, or it's exiling.
Or it's going into play.
Or it's going into play. Okay, now
Those
we
are
pay
all
a bunch
free
of life, where X is its mana value. So we have a 5 costing creature that's doing this, whether it's going to play or wherever.
Or your hand.
We pay
or
X. If we do create
Soul
a token
shift.
copy. So if we're reanimating it, we're going to get 2, because one's going to be copy.
Yep.
Except for it's not legendary if the original creature was legendary. The copy gains haste and sacrifices at the beginning of the next end step.
Your next end step. Very important.
Oh, beginning of your next end step. Okay. So if we do this on our opponent's turn, we will
If
get
you
it on
block
our
with a
turn.
soul shift creature, you get to keep it for your turn.
Okay. Interesting. This is very odd. I don't know how much this is going to trigger. I haven't seen the set all as much to see this. So Soul Shift is when it's...
Soul Shift and the Raise Dead and Reanimate stuff is what we've seen so far mostly.
Okay. It doesn't cost any mana, so it's very strong,
It just costs
I think.
life.
I think it's very strong when it goes off. You just have to build a deck where it goes off. And whenever it doesn't, it's a 4-mana 3/4 flying. That's good. This card's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pick this highly, but this is a very good card.
Cool. I really like the design. Thought it was really fun.
Yeah, this is fun. Yeah.
All right. Next, Roby's Whisper, 1 black, instant arcane. If you control swamp, destroy target non-black creature. Splice an arcane, remove 4 cards in your graveyard from the game.
Best removal spell in the format. It was a common, which is what really did it.
Mm-hmm.
You paid black, but you got to splice it onto your spells by just
For no
throwing
mana,
away
which is huge.
your graveyard. You would usually splice it once or twice and then cast it afterwards, and you'd have
enough.
one card that kills 3 things. It's insane.
So huge. Yep. Really good card.
Yeah. It is now 1 black if you control swamp, destroy target creature.
Hey, what's up, Christian?
It's the exact same thing. It's spliced onto instant sorcery instead, and it's a travel instant spirit instead. So it's the exact same card. It will be very strong, but it hits black creatures as well.
Yep. I
Which
don't
is-
like the non-black text, and neither do they now.
Yep, nobody does anymore. So I'm glad they stopped doing that, and I'm glad we're not doing it. This card is very strong. This is easy pack one pick one.
Yes.
This
yes.
is so easy.
Super good. Crazy good.
Might be
also,
the best card.
Here's what's cute. That splice works with Hirobi.
Sure.
You can exile your creatures from your graveyard and get Hirobi triggers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flavor is important, Nate.
I believe you.
You're a nerd too, Christian. Shut your mouth. Well, but you're cool, so it's fine. All right, next. Iname, Death Aspect, 4 black for a 4/4. When it enters the battlefield, search the library for any number of spirit cards and put them into your graveyard. If you do, shuffle your library.
It's an odd card that didn't work in limited, obviously, because the main thing it can do in limited, I guess, is get you things to soul shift later. I tried to build combo deck with this card whenever it came out, and I couldn't figure it out.
It's a cool card, though.
I just couldn't figure it out. So now it is 3 black for a 4/4 flying. Now it's flying because it looks like it has flying, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly.
Whenever it enters the battlefield, search the library for any number of spirit cards and put them in your graveyard and then shuffle your library. So is it better this time? Because you can get instants and sorceries?
Yep.
Is that the only thing that makes it better? Obviously, we have some cheating stuff.
There are
but...
more cards that get cards back from your graveyard that aren't just soul shift as well
Yeah.
than there were before. So
Okay. This is good just because it's a 4/4 flying for 5. The ETB you want to matter in your deck because 4/4 flying for 5 is only good. It's only good, but so this isn't a pack one pick one. This is pretty early pick though.
yep, you're going to pick this because you want this 4/4 flying spirit for 5.
And then once you pick it, you'll build cards
And you might
in
go,
your deck to make it work.
What
better.
can I do? Maybe I can make this work. Maybe I can do something there.
You can the cards that come back, the Death of a Thousand Stings and stuff. Those are spirits.
Yeah.
So you can bring those back with this card. You can just throw them in your graveyard and be like,
Exactly.
I'll get this later.
I'll just get this later whenever I have no hand. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this does as well. Get all your cards that can come back that way.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
there's multiples.
Yeah.
Black has a lot of them. Actually.
We saw the Sacrifice one. We saw the Death of a Thousand Stings. Yeah.
There are okay. So next card, Infernal Kieran is 2 black for a 3/3 flying. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, target player reveals his or her hand and discards all cards with the same mana cost.
Not very good. I don't think. You can see your opponent's hand.
It's clearly that from its time, it's a 3/3 flying for 4. That was probably fine.
That's pretty good. It's not bad.
And then sometimes they discard cards, and you always get to see their hand.
You always get to see their hand when you cast spirits or arcanes. Yeah, this card's probably fine. It's just not great, you know.
No. Yeah, because you're missing a lot.
Yeah, you're not gonna hit on purpose very often.
It kept the same.
Okay.
I didn't see a reason to make it more powerful or change it up too much.
Okay. I have no idea how good it will be.
And,
I can't really evaluate this very well.
Totally, yeah. And I think that there's like, what you're doing here also is,
I think there will be feel bads associated with this. That'll just be luck, you know.
That's fair, and that's true about it back then too. So
Just be like, oh well, of course you drew your 3-drop, but also I'm holding 2 3s.
Yeah.
Screw you, dude.
that's totally reasonable. Hey, if we end up saying this card needs to be changed,
Yeah.
that's what playing the game is all about.
Yep.
Ink Eyes, Servant of Oni, 4 black, 5 and just a 5/4 legendary creature Rat Ninja with Ninjutsu, 3 black. It also has 1 and a black regenerate it. But whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card from that player's graveyard into play under your control.
Yeah, this card is iconic. It was one of the more interesting ways to do like odd kinds of reanimation since you can't get your own stuff.
Yeah, you get their stuff.
It's kind of powered down, but it can just be amazing, obviously, depending on what they've got.
It's a good card.
It's a good card. Yeah, it's big. It's the big rat. It's the big ninja. I mean,
Big ninja hits hard, gets you
another creature in play.
another creature in play. It's really strong.
Yeah,
So we didn't change it at all, except for change the.
to indestructible with tap. Yep.
Yep.
So regenerate. We gave it the new regenerate version text, and the rest is all the same.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this card is probably good. Ninjutsu for 5 is a lot, but I mean, it does a lot. It deals 5, and then it also steals a card from the graveyard. You know.
It also we're making all the rat stuff and all the discard stuff. We're making them discard a bunch of stuff, so we're likely to get a creature from it.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, at least something. You know, it doesn't have to be great. Just
No, just anything is really good, honestly,
Yeah.
because it's a big creature that we hit with our ninjutsu.
Notably, the creature you steal is not good for ninjaing.
Right. Don't ninja the creature that you stole. They get it back.
Yeah.
All right, next card. Kagamaro, First to Suffer, is 3 black for a star.
Dude!
What?
Goryo's Vengeance
Yeah.
and Footsteps of the Goryo in our version are good with ninjas.
Because you can return them. Because they both say end step.
Dude! So you
Genius.
so you put something into play from your graveyard, and then you attack with it, and it doesn't get blocked because they're like, it's just gonna die. I don't care. I'm not gonna try and kill it.
Yeah.
And then you just return your hand. It goes to your hand.
Yeah.
And then you got a ninja and play that hit him.
That's really
That's
good.
pretty sick.
All right. Kagamaro, First to Suffer is 3 black for a star, where its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. It has black second, and all creatures get -X until end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Okay, so it's big based on your hand size, and then sack this to give all creatures X6. Yeah, it's a board wipe, you know.
It's fine. It was probably good limited because it's a board wipe, and when you don't want to be a board wipe, it's a fine-sized creature.
Usually, yeah. You just had to be in the big hands again. You always had to be big hand in this format. It
Yeah,
sucks.
that's why a lot of stuff didn't play as well as it read.
All right, so this is now instead a 3 black 10/10. Woo!
Whoa!
But it gets -1/-1 for each card in players' hands.
Including
so
yours
if together
and your
you and
opponent's.
them have 10 cards or more, it's just dead. It's nothing.
Yep, but
But when Kagamaro First to Suffer enters the battlefield, each other creature gets -X until end of turn, where X is Kagamaro's power. So it could just be a board wipe that leaves you a Kagamaro that's like a 5/5 or 6/6 or bigger. Yeah, very strong card, but very situational. I think you can't pick this early, obviously.
Yep.
I mean, you can.
You just go,
pick
okay,
it
I'm
first
getting
and build
discard
it.
stuff.
You're
Yeah.
like, I know what I'm doing right away. So I guess you could pick one and go for it. I think I would actually, because of just how powerful that effect is. Yeah. Just pack one, pick one card, and it doesn't get picked very often after that, is what I'm thinking.
It does kill your own stuff too, but whatever. It
Yeah,
doesn't
but you have
kill him.
Kagamaro.
Yeah, you got your big boy. You're good.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
And he grows the more people play cards.
You have to try really hard, though, to make sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, you don't have to make sure to make it a creature. Like, keep making it alive is a thing. But in order for this to be worth picking, you want it to be at least a 3/3.
Yep.
Like, so you got to try a little bit.
And 3/3 means that players have to have 7 less than starting.
What?
So
7 or less total cards in it, right?
yeah,
Okay.
7 less than starting is why I said it. I don't. So the reason I said 7 less than starting because it means that it had to have been 7 plus the number of turns cards played by whatever. It's really confusing. My brain's trying to do
Sure,
math.
we're there.
All right, it was a good card though. Kagamaro's Clutch, 3 and a black for an aura. The enchant creature gets -X/-X. It's an aura that does this, where X is the number of cards in your hand.
Yep, it was fine.
It probably
was
worked,
playable.
but damn, these kinds of
Not
effects.
good.
Just not
Not
fun,
especially good, but
not
playable
good.
in the format.
Because removal was expensive, hard to come by, and bad.
1 and a black. Enchanted creature gets -X/-X, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. This card's extremely strong.
Yeah.
Your graveyard fills up so fast and limited anyway. It's like, this is good. This is just really good. I shouldn't say so fast.
It's
It
not a
fills
turn
up.
2 removal,
No, hell no.
but it is good removal.
I mean, turn 2 removal is almost non-existent. You don't want to play removal on turn 2. In
Red
limited.
has turn 2 removal all the time. Well,
You
okay.
don't play it on turn 2?
You don't play it on turn 2. You're right. You know what I mean, though. Thumbs up.
Yeah, good card.
Good card.
Picking that a lot.
Good removal.
Pretty early.
It'll get there. Kami of Empty Graves, 4-1 for 3 and a black, Soul Shift 3. That's it.
One of the best soul shifters they had.
Has
just
high
because it
power,
trades.
low toughness, trades well, gets your card back.
Yep. It doesn't attack well, honestly, which is hilarious. You think that high attack attacks well. It can't. It gets blocked by everything.
So here's what we did.
Menace! Yeah,
it.
this is a really good card, actually.
That's what we went with.
Menace on a 4-1 is
We got to make these cards better. Like this is. I like this one because I didn't have to do much. I just slapped Menace on,
I wonder
and
how
it's
good this
suddenly
card is.
awesome.
This might be amazing.
It could be amazing.
Like, a really early pick.
There's a lot of pinging though for small amounts, like
Yeah,
ones
so it might
and-
not be.
So it dies very easily, but
Soul Shift to make up for it.
Yep.
But no, yeah, I'd pick this. I would personally be picking this card like 4th or 5th, like pretty early.
You love Soul Shift. So
I also love Menace.
Me too. I love
attacking.
Menace. Ever since they switched to Menace, I've loved playing Menace creatures. In
Oh, I told you this was a bad attacker. It turned into one of the best attackers I've seen in a while.
What?
Just giving it Menace, because
that was the point. Yeah.
yeah. So if they block with 2 things, sometimes you just kill them.
You
both.
just kill both and get something.
And
out
you
of
get
it.
to the guy,
3 for 1. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. Kami of Lunacy, 4 black for a 4-1 flying Soul Shift 5.
4 power flyer. At 6 mana, it's not good because it's only 1 toughness, but it's not shit.
Yeah.
Like I would probably play this card. It's not good though.
It's all right. It's all right.
Now it's 4 black for a 3-1 flying, Soul Shift 5. When it enters the battlefield, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield against haste sacrifice at the beginning of that extend step. So this is still working with the cheating effect deck. This is doing some really cool things here that you can make work.
It's good with Soul Shift.
6 mana is a lot.
Because you can get a Soul Shifter back and it just sacks it to get it
Instead of
again.
exiling, yep. I do like that. Yeah, this is good. This is a very specific deck.
Kami of Lunacy. It's Lunacy.
I mean, yeah.
Did you just
I
do
usually,
all of your Soul
I
Shift
usually
shit?
will not play this card.
Yeah.
And to be clear, the 4-1 for the other run, the reason I liked it at all and said I might play
its
it
format.
is because its format was weird.
Different.
This one, I really don't like its power toughness, obviously.
Yes.
This card has to be doing something very interesting with the reanimation
Yep,
effect.
yep. That's what we went with.
Yep.
All right, next one. Kami of the Waning Moon, 2 and a black for a 1-1 flying that whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, target creature gains fear until end of turn.
It's not good.
don't
Getting
like
fear
it.
can be game winning, but generally speaking, this card doesn't do anything. For 3 mana, 1-1. Ugh. There's 2 and a black for a 2/2. Whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, target creature you control gains menace until end of turn. See Johnny mostly changing fear to menace when he can.
Yep. And
And its
can target
channel is
itself.
1 and a black to give all of your creatures menace until end of turn, which is insane, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's too good or anything. I just that is very strong ability.
It has a smaller body, so when you play it, its board presence is a lot weaker than some of these other cards. So
Yeah. This card, you play. So the thing is that we have 2 cards that give everybody menace now.
out of
That's a little-
620 some cards.
No, I'm not saying that that's just they're both a little similar. Like the way we were looking at the other card, we talked about how it can win the game and it won't do anything else. This card can do other things by being just a 2/2 for 3,
Right.
which is nice. But its winning the game costs so much less than that other card.
Yeah.
This card is just a lot better than that one.
Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't give the +1/+0 that does, but I do agree with you that maybe this channel cost should cost more,
Maybe, I don't know.
and that it's fine though. Otherwise,
I would say most of the time this will be fine. Giving all your creatures menace doesn't win the game that often.
right.
Wait, this is the same cost as the other one, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, yeah. So the card does the same thing almost on its channel, but yeah.
but then you could have the option of playing a 3-drop that can give stuff.
Right,
slow
which I think
menace.
is better than giving everybody +1/+0, but maybe not.
I think I agree with you. Yeah.
Maybe they're similar. Maybe they're
Unless
they're
you
okay.
planned on getting that other one back and doing it again, so it's like a tempo sort of.
You do that with this too.
This is 3 mana. That one's 2 mana. Anyway,
They're both 2 mana.
no, but the Soul Shift 2 can get the other. Anyway, sorry.
Oh,
That's
Soul
stupid.
Shift 2.
Anyway.
I wasn't thinking of Soul Shift to get it back.
Okay, Kimuri Ona is 4 and a black for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, target player discards a card, and then whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, you may return this to your hand.
It's one of the Ona, I think they're all called, actually.
Yep, they're all something dash Ona.
So it has the ability to do that. This one's a little better than the other ones. Discarding card can be good in this limited especially.
Yeah.
It's
5 mana's a lot. For its time, 5 mana 3/3 go up card is decent.
Yeah, that's good. That's
And you
good,
can
but-
recast it too with it bouncing it back and doing all that
Yeah,
stuff. That's
yeah.
decent.
This is decent. It's
Yeah.
for its time, it's pretty fine, especially for that limited where everybody had cards in hand.
That's decent.
You did it.
Excuse me. All right, but
Now we have 3 and a black for a 3/3 ETB. Target player discards card. When you cast a spirit or reveal a spirit card, you may return it to your hand. So it's almost the same thing, but it costs 1 less.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I would play this card. I don't think it's amazing. We've had 3 black 3/3s that have people discard a card in the past, and they're usually
Fine.
They're whatever.
They're whatever.
But having the ability to redo the thing is a pretty small upside because 4 mana for the.
And also,
card
discarding a card gets worse as time goes on.
Yeah. So that doesn't matter a lot, but it does matter.
Yep. That's what I went with. Yep.
It's fine.
Kiku Knight's Flower is black for a 1/1 legendary creature, human assassin, 2 black, tap. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power.
This card's great.
Yeah, this card's fantastic.
Card was
Repeatable removal.
Removal. Like I said earlier, though, a lot of creatures in this format did have higher toughness than their power, so it doesn't kill things automatically by itself sometimes.
It just kills all of the other stuff though.
Yeah, it just kills. So it'll have things it can't kill, but it'll have other things it can kill pretty often.
It's in its time, the mana investment isn't that big a deal, but it is 4 mana.
Well, I mean, 4 mana investment to kill something is good.
That's what we want. Yeah.
Well, it's
two.
Doing that anyways.
It's 2 wait a turn, then 4.
Right, that's the problem.
But it's repeatable, but it's very slow.
It's still very
and
good,
1
though.
toughness, so it could just die before you ever get there.
Yeah, it had its vulnerabilities, but it was still very strong. This is still the same thing because black 1/1 4 mana tap target creature creates itself is all the same text. But then whenever another non-token creature dies, you gain 2 life, just a little bit extra. Sure.
Fits in with some other stuff, but yeah.
Okay, I believe you.
It's a small pattern. You might notice that there's just a shit ton of stuff that makes you pay life
Oh, sure.
in black in this set.
Sure, so this is helping mitigate that.
Yep. Kiku Shadow, black, sorcery. Target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So it's just a 1-shot of that.
Of the Kiku effect.
Yep,
I
that's
guess.
sorcery.
So I think the other one, by the way, is a really high pick.
This one?
Yeah, I think Kiku is a really
it's
high pick.
It's slow, expensive, but it pays you off.
Yep. Okay, so Kiku Shadow now. The old one was good.
This does the effect. It's
Yep.
removal. You wanted it back in the day, so you'd pick it.
Yep.
New one.
Target creature fights itself just like before. As long as the creature you control has died this turn, you may cast Kiku's Shadow from the graveyard by paying 2 black instead of its mana cost. Exile it as it resolves. So it has flashback, but it has a conditional flashback.
Yep.
You have to have a creature that has died this turn
Of yours.
mine.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
So it's like
yeah,
getting
this card's
revenge.
great. This card's great.
Yep.
I pick it relatively highly. I think because it is conditional removal, but it's
And
repeatable.
black for target creature fights itself is actually
Weak. I think.
weak.
Yeah.
With the upgrades we've been doing, so I wanted to just do this instead.
Yeah. So I still think we pick this like.
Because much like Kiku's repeatable, so I was like, ooh, make the sorcery repeatable.
Yeah. Sure.
Not repeatable. It's twice. But yeah.
Twice. Yeah. So it'll be
It's good.
like 5th and later, but still.
It's definitely removal. You're like, ooh, I need removal. This is a decent removal.
Yeah.
Next card, Kokusho, the Evening Star, 4 black for a 5/5 flying. Legendary creature, Dragon Spirit. Whenever it dies, each opponent loses 5 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way.
Exact same card.
Exact same card. Why would I change it?
Good card. Favorite
Super
of the Dragon Spirits in my opinion, even though it's not that as interesting as some of the other ones, like Kiga especially. He's interesting,
Fun
and
to play,
Yosei
though.
is very interesting.
I love draining people.
Draining people for a lot is really good.
If it's good, powerful, fun to do.
Large numbers of drain, you just don't recognize how much it is. Once it gets to
Yeah.
3 or higher, those numbers like feel really
Yeah,
big.
You gotta pump those numbers.
Things are just going.
So this card's gonna be great. It's gonna be a high pick. You're gonna love it.
Yep.
Kuon, Ogre Ascendant, black. At the end of turn, if 3 or more creatures died this turn, flip him. It's 2/4, by the way. And he flips into at the beginning of each. It's a legendary enchantment, Kuon's Essence. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player sacrifices a creature.
Huh.
I always thought this was opponent.
Yeah, it hits you too. It's weird. This card's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't think you pick it.
No.
Black for a 2/4 that you're not flipping. And if you're
not wanting to flip
you're not
either,
even
yeah.
wanting to, yeah.
Okay, so now it is black for a 2/4 at the beginning of each end step. If 3 or more creatures die this turn, trip it. Transform it. Beginning of each opponents. You changed it to opponents only. Yeah, that's much better.
This is what I was looking for.
We can try to flip this card and make it worthwhile.
Yep.
That's what you got to do though. You got to try.
Yep, you gotta try.
You got to really try, buddy.
Alright, Kuro Pit Lord. I didn't put the animation, so don't look to the right. Only look at the left for now. 6 black for a 9/9. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice it unless you pay 4 black. Has pay 1 life, target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn.
All right. So this is a cool.
How are you casting this? It is 9 mana.
So it's a cool reanimation to target.
Yep, you gotta still pay 4 black to keep it alive, though.
Yeah, no. You don't keep it alive. You just kill all their shit.
That's true. It's true.
You like Goryo's Vengeance or Footsteps of the Goryo this, and you just kill all their shit,
and
let it
then
die. Who
Whatever.
cares? Or you have 4 black, you know?
I don't think this card was playable at all.
No, I just understand what they're going for.
Yeah.
Yeah, this card's not playable.
No.
9 mana, no. Now it is quad black to cast, and it costs 1 more for each card in player's hands. So let's say it costs usually like 8-9 mana.
Yeah. Very expensive.
Whenever it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. and that's it. It just the creature you bring back just stays.
Yep.
Huh. All right. Hear me out.
It costs no less than 5 mana from your hand, ever. Because it's a card in your hand. It's going to cost 1.
Oh, sure.
So
yeah.
1 black, like 1 and 4 black.
And then it has the same ability, but it costs a black mana as well.
Yes.
So it's black, pay a life, target creature can match -1.
And it's also 6/6 instead of a 9/9.
6/6 instead of a 9/9. Interesting. This card's cool. I have no idea whether it's good, but I'm excited in my mind about the concept of having 2 of this card. All right.
Why?
All right. I know you can't. But like the legendary rule happens before you have to choose targets. So you could just
So infinite ETBs.
Yeah.
All your honor triggers.
Oh my god! Infinite honor. Where's your second Kuro in this cube, Johnny?
Damn,
Come on.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll print off 2 of them just for you.
No. But let's see. So it's at least 5 mana. We're looking at probably more like 9 mana. So we're probably cheating this card and returning something else for the hastiness.
Oh yeah.
And maybe using its pay life effect once or twice, or as much as you can.
Yep.
And when you can't, it's an expensive 6/6 that reanimates. Yeah, this card's not bad. I think this card is a good build around and a bad finisher in another deck, as in you still would play this in another deck.
I think the other deck you'd play it in is the making everyone discard cards deck.
Yeah, I like this
So
card.
you play it for normal, yeah.
And you'd cost like 5 or 6.
Man, what a
hopefully.
fucking top deck this card can be, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's like we're both top deck wars. Okay, let's go.
Boom,
And
bam, 5 mana,
no, your opponent on their turns like, my top deck is instant speed removal. Amazing. Okay, go. And you're like,
Shram! Shalonk!
oops.
Yeah, this card's good, I think. I think I think it'd be fun to build around as the cheat
I
card.
think it's just a lot more interesting of a card.
Yeah. I think they're both kind of interesting, but I think ours is more.
Yeah. All right, Kuro's taken 1 in a black for a 1/1, Bushido 1 in a black regenerated.
All right.
Yeah, I know this card's probably really good.
All right, I don't know. I like these cards though, so I play these cards a lot. One of my
Infinite
favorite
blockers?
Yeah, infinite blockers are some of my favorite things to do in limited to keep me alive. I probably play them a lot, like way too much actually. Talking
about that Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, Will of the Wisps. In a what was it? A25?
A25, yeah.
Pack 1 pick 1 Will of the Wisp over some good cards.
He's
It
like,
was
I
over
got
something
this.
good too. It was like a planeswalker.
Oh,
or
I
something.
high picked Will-O-Wisp in that format too.
It's really good, dude.
It's just really good.
But with Bushido, it gets a little better than a 1/1.
Yeah,
but
because it's a 2/2 whenever you're blocking.
So it actually can kill some stuff.
Yeah.
So this is Drudge Skeletons, by the way. It's Drudge Skeletons.
Judge Skeletons,
with
both Bushido
Bushido.
1.
Which is fine. I think the card's fine.
It's fine. This card's fine.
Yeah, this card's fine. Now it's 1 in a black for a 2/1 with honor. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn, and then discard a card. It gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. So instead of 1 in a black to do it, we have to discard a card. I like that a lot. It plays into our wanting to have a low hand size, and it also means that it is not as repeatable. We have to have cards
Also,
to
though,
use.
it means you don't need to spend mana on it either,
Right.
so you can be aggressive with it.
Right.
These kinds of cards make you pay a different resource so you can be fast, but that resource is more expensive as far as like it's
Value-wise.
yeah, value-wise it's more expensive, but tempo-wise it's way better.
Yeah.
And I like these because I wanted it to be more aggressive. And we got honor instead of Bushido, which is the opposite. Like Bushido is defensive, honor is aggressive. So I wanted to give him the aggressive.
This feels fine. I like this card. I think it's good. It also can be a strong blocker when you need it to be as well.
Exactly. You can block with it. Absolutely. All right. Yep. I like this card. I
Yeah.
actually really like this
Yeah,
design.
I would pick this earlier than I should because, like I said, I like.
If you're building the
dumb
aggressive
blockers.
deck, this card, you really want cards like this because they can defend themselves against removal. And,
It's free discard. I don't know how often you're going to want to do that, but
But it could be, yeah, exactly. Okay, Kyoki, Sanity's Eclipse. 4 black for a 6/4 legendary creature, Demon Spirit. Whenever you play a Spirit or Arcane spell, target opponent removes a card in their hand from the game. So
exile it. Yeah.
Fine. It's expensive for low toughness.
High power though.
Back in its day, it was probably decent.
Yeah, it seems fine.
You got Spirit Arcane spell, they lose cards. I mean,
It's also a demon, so that's something we need to pay attention to. Is whenever something is a demon.
Oh yeah,
plays well with
back
the
then it
ogres.
mattered. Yeah, it was ogres and demons, and you wanted them together. Wanted one of each in play because the demons would give you bad effects if
The ogres would give you bad effects.
or the ogres would give you bad effects if you didn't have demons, and the demons needed you to have ogres.
Yeah, to do some of their stuff.
Some of them, not all of them, but yeah.
Yeah, so I think this card's probably good for its time.
Yeah, I mean they're losing cards.
Yeah, and you have a 6/4. I don't know. 6/4
Yep.
is good. So now it's 4 black for a 6/4 menace. Whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, mill 2 cards. Then reveal a spirit card from your. Okay. So you mill 2 cards, then return a spirit card from your graveyard to your hand. Every time you cast a spirit spell or reveal, wow, this card's really strong. It loops infinite value most of the time. I
Yeah,
feel like.
that's the point of it.
Most of the time.
It's just looping, but you do mill 2 cards every time, so you are going down from your library. But
I don't think it's very. It's
no,
not enough to be a problem.
It's not important, but it's a 6 drop, so.
This card's extremely strong. This is pack 1. This is a bomb.
Yeah, so I'm trying to fit these and look at them like compared to the dragons is where we're trying to fit our brain space. This one wants you to be doing something where the dragon doesn't need you to do anything; it just is. So I thought make it pretty powerful.
Yeah. This card's really good.
Yep.
Menace on a 6/4 is huge.
Yeah,
Actually.
it is huge. It is huge. So it is a bomb. This card's just a bomb.
Just a bomb.
Yeah. Another card that might help you think about where the space of power level is that like 6/6 for the 6/6 menace from 6/6 menace from the newest set. That whatever deals damage, you get that many blood tokens.
I'm thinking about this in context of our set.
I know. Well, I'm also thinking about my design in context of modern sets.
Okay.
These are probably close, not exact, but close.
Okay.
But I think this card's pretty good, like really good, just like super big.
Really strong card.
You're gonna want to kill it.
Yeah.
Locust Miser, 2 black for a 2/2, 4-mana 2/2. Each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 2.
They really messed with these effects.
What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did they not test these cards?
I think they definitely were told to power things down the way we sometimes think they get told by Hasbro to power things up. These were actually told by Hasbro to power down.
So I wonder like how hard some of this shit got hit. Like maybe it really was something before, and they were like, I guess we gotta. So they just tweaked every knob. You know what I mean? So it's like this card could have been like each opponent's maximum hand size reduced by 4, and it's like a 3-mana 2/2, 3-mana 2/2.
Yeah, 3-mana 2/2 instead.
Or like a 4-mana 2/2.
I was thinking 4-mana 3/3 is what I was thinking.
Yeah, maybe that's what it used to be, and it was like, oh wow, that's crazy, and they were like, oh, fuck, we have to tweak every knob.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Now it is 2 black for a 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, each player discards 2 cards. So we're doing more of the other thing we did before, where each player discarded 1. Now it's 2. It's good. The other one was a 1-mana 2/1. This one's priced worse at a 4-mana 3/2.
Because the effect is bigger.
Bigger, because you could also do this when you have no cards in hand. I don't know if we made that clear with the 2/1. If you draw it late and you play it with no cards in hand, they discard a card. You don't have anything to discard. You're happy. This one is even more likely to do that part of the deal.
Yep.
Because it's later in the
So it's
game.
later in the game.
Yep. So they're more likely to have cards where you don't as
What's
well.
most likely actually with this card is if you played one of the fast enough discard decks that you're discarding your own stuff, you get a lot of value out of doing that. Then this card is like, oh, I've got like 1 card left in my hand. It's like a land or a bad card or a card I can get back.
Yep.
And I just go, okay, play it. I discard 1, you discard 2.
I have a 3/2.
I have a 3/2 and value coming back. So.
Yeah, I like this card.
But this one's a lot harder. This one wants you to work harder because with a 2/1, you can just play. You can just play it in your aggro decks. This one, no, you really do need to
be doing something with it. Yeah. This card is also fine in your aggro decks because you empty your hand, so it's for a different reason.
Yeah, that's true. If this is your top end.
Yeah, it's just this is a bad top end.
Yeah, it doesn't kill your opponent.
It doesn't kill your opponent. It doesn't. It's yeah.
It can be negative for you. Too.
Yeah, we want to build with a deck that actually says this card is good. It tells you, hey, look at what this card text says. Think about your deck. Hey, it's great. So it has to go in.
It's got to go in there. It's like I said, it's very different than Nap Miser.
Yeah.
This one has to go in the deck that needs this happening.
Most of the time, this card's bad, so you do not pick this until late. I think.
Yeah, you don't pick this till your deck is this.
Yeah.
Or you just need some extra like discard trigger things. It's called MAGA, sorry.
Oh,
anyway.
sure.
MAGA, Trader of Mortals, X black. For a 0/0 legendary creature human wizard with a big face. Did you ever notice that?
Yeah.
His face is big.
Yeah.
Makes me think he's a spirit, but he's not.
Or
anyway,
something.
Or he's wearing someone else's skin. I don't know. MAGA, Trader of Mortals comes into play with X +1/+1 counters on it. When it comes into play, target player loses life equal to the number of +1/+1 counters on it.
It's a fireball with. It's also big.
It's a creature.
It's a big creature that also makes them lose a bunch of life. You know, it's fine.
It's very expensive
as heck.
compared to what we're used to, but back in the day it was okay.
In limited, it probably wasn't much. Honestly,
you use 6 mana
just
for
a lot of
3/3. They
mana,
lose 3. That's not very good, but
yeah, if you could go huge on mana somehow, then maybe. But
yeah, if you're hitting points in the game where like it really doesn't matter how much, like you're just waiting. This is just a huge drop, and at some points, just like play a big creature, you lose a bunch of life. It's probably okay.
Yeah.
It's never good at other stages though,
right?
Which is where it's different from other X spells.
It's only good. Other X spells can be playable at medium or small, depending on what kind of card.
This one's only good if you just like it's end game. You saved it till you had 1,000,000 lands to play, and you somehow got there already. And that was just for its format. It would never be good at all in other formats.
Right. X black for a 1/1 now instead. It enters the battlefield with X +1/+ counters on it. Has lifelink. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power target, any target. This is something Johnny is very fond of. I think it's cool. Is something that has lifelink and deals non-combat damage on its own somehow.
Very fun.
It's always really cool. This one in particular is doing the same thing as the original manga does, but it's not even cheaper. It's the same price, but we get to gain a bunch of life, which is cool. And it's also +1/+1.
It's also any target.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
creatures.
So we can kill creatures, whereas that one you couldn't. Sure, yeah. That's
So
actually the best use for it.
Yep, the rate is black for a 1/1, ping one thing, gain 1 lifelink. That's okay.
Yeah, at 4 mana,
4
this
mana.
card gets playable.
Yep.
Which is the thing.
You will probably only play this at 4 mana and above, but every time you do, you're going to love it.
Yeah, exactly. If this kills something, you're happy.
You
If
did
this
have to pay
kills-
black, so...
That's
the
this
real
card,
drawback.
This card is definitely good, actually, but it is so hard to play. I would not likely pick it early, I don't think.
No, I think it gets passed around a lot because it's so hard to play.
Yeah, it's very hard to cast, but if your deck can cast it, you're very happy with it. It's good.
Mark of the Oni, 2 and a black for enchant creature. You control enchant creature. At the end of turn, if you control no demons, you lose this. It sacrifices, so they get their creature back.
Yep. This card is just for demon decks, and demon decks are rare.
And also, if your opponent just removes your demon, you also lose the creature you stole.
This is a bad card.
Awkward, bad card. But if you, in the magical world in which this is working, it's pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah. 3 mana mind control is amazing.
Super good.
Yeah.
So 3 mana mind control?
So 1 black, you control enchant creature as long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. This is rough to keep control of.
Yep. Heckbent control of.
I think this card is also bad.
Just raised by what is it called? Lifted by clouds. Oh, I get my creature back. Sorry.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. They make you draw cards. Haha. Look at me. So yeah, this card I do think is also bad. But if you can control it for a turn or two, sometimes that'll be enough to get you there. And that's what I think the plan is with this card.
Also, a big difference between Mark of the Oni and this is its condition doesn't make you lose the aura. It just means they get their creature back until you meet the condition again.
Oh, that's a pretty big difference. You're right. Okay.
It doesn't say enchant creature as long as you... No, it says
that's
you
very
control
interesting.
it as long as you have...
That's very interesting
So
because
go
what will
back and
happen...
forth.
I was about to say, what I think will happen a lot is that your opponent won't ever get it back, but it'll make it have summoning sickness again. That's all you're going to lose out of the deal. So you'll draw your card for turn, it'll put you above the amount you need to do, it goes to their side, and you play your card for turn, you get it back, and now I have it.
Can't attack with it.
Right, that's the downside. Okay, this card's pretty good, never mind. I didn't notice that. I thought it went away.
Yeah, it has its own little game going on, too.
Yeah, I think Mark of the Oni is very strong, never mind.
Yep.
Because it's always a removal spell. Well, not always. When you're doing your thing at all, it's a removal spell. And then whenever you start to have the problem of I'm not sure if I'm doing my thing anymore, it's still removal. It's just not a creature.
Well, it can also be a blocker if you're doing the thing where it keeps going back to them. It's still going to be a blocker.
Yeah. This card's pretty good. It does need that so badly, though.
Yeah, and also you can sacrifice their creature if you have it, even though you can.
Right. Yeah.
So that's always good. Marinar is 3 black for a 2/3 legendary creature, Rat Rogue. All rats have fear, so it includes itself. Tap, sacrifice a rat, put X 1/1 black rat creature tokens in play where X is the number of rats you control. This is after you sacrifice. So if you sack himself, you get no rats.
Yep. So you'll want to have another rat at all.
If you have 2 rats in play, if you include this, you get 1 rat. So you just replace the rat you sack with it. It's bad.
Yeah. So you need 2 other rats for this card to do anything special.
And that makes it hard to in limited do anything with this.
Yeah, this card is nothing in limited. Nothing.
So we change it to
3 black for a 2/3. Tap, create X 1/1 black rat creature tokens with menace where X is the number of rats you control. It went from terrible to absolutely incredible.
Yep.
We removed the fear, and now they all have menace, but
This
Marona doesn't get the menace.
Well, who cares?
Other rats
Tapping
that
it.
are not tokens don't get the menace. This card is a, what do you call it? A Krenko.
Yep.
For rats, which is what this pretends to be on the left.
Yep.
But it's not quite that at all. This card's very strong, extremely strong. You want to pick this really early.
Yep.
Because if your opponent doesn't answer this instantly, it starts getting out of hand so fast.
Just multiplying your rats.
Yep.
You only need it. You don't need more rats.
Right, exactly. Because the first time you tap it, you make 1, and the second time you tap it, you make 2. The third time you tap it, you make 4.
Like Krenko.
Just like Krenko.
But this card costs 1 more than Krenko.
Yep.
And it's small.
Gets menace instead.
Yeah, and it gives the dudes more. So, Measure of Wickedness is 3 and a black for enchantment. At the end of your turn, sacrifice it, and you lose 8 life. What the fuck? And the game is whenever another card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, target opponent gets this.
So if you sacrifice something, you give it away. This card's terrible.
Terrible, horrible. Oh my god. And it's just saying 4 mana, deal 8, but your opponent can make you take 8 if they can just make sure that they, whenever they get it from you, just put something in their graveyard.
And then you make sure you don't be able to put things in their graveyard while you can't. In one way. And it also just sits around both of you doing this for a while, and 8 life is not worth it. Not worth the 4 mana plus all this stuff.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Not a clue.
Yeah, that sucks. But we did.
2 black red enchantment. Whenever you discard a card or sacrifice a permanent, Measure of Wickedness deals 1 damage to any target. This card is insane.
4 mana.
This card is an enchantment that has the effect of Mayhem Devil, plus it also does it whenever you discard cards.
Yep.
Yeah, this card is extremely strong. In this limited, I'm expecting it to be playable.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
That's where I was going with it.
Kind of weird. Because discarding cards and sacrificing permanents is never anything you actively want to do unless you have payoffs like this for it. Whereas in other formats where Mayhem Devil is, you want to anyways because
and you have so many
strong.
easy ways to make it so cheap to sacrifice a million
Whereas
things.
in this format, you're gonna have to work at it.
You're actually paying stuff for it.
Yeah.
So. And you got to pay the 4 mana just slaps into play. We'll get nothing out of it.
This
Mayhem Devil is a 3/3 for 3.
Yeah, I expect this to be playable at best, actually.
But
this
you
could be not playable even.
Yeah, and if it's playable, it's because you have all the stuff to be like, oh, I'll just like combo and get a bunch of triggers all the time.
Yeah, because you get the thing about any target, you get to like mow down all of their creatures depending on how much you're discarding or sacrificing. You can kill a lot of things this way.
Yes. Next card, Midnight Covenant, 1 in a black. Enchant creature is a shade, so it gets the black. This gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
This card's amazing.
Yeah, it's wild. You think auras are bad, and they generally are, but in its like format, you're just turning any creature, particularly an evasive creature, into your cannon.
Yeah, so there's a couple things. Obviously, there's a big focus on flyers in this format. So if you get a flyer with this on it, and your opponent doesn't have flyers, you're great. There's also there's the cards that we're giving unblockable. So Higuri gives ninjas unblockable, which is insane with Midnight Covenant. You give a ninja unblockable and then just smash them with the spirit ability.
Aura that makes something unblockable from spirits if you're in that situation.
Yep, and there was another one that said anything with power 2 or less, or CMC 3 or less, or whatever it was.
There's the Moonfolk that can make
that's what it was. Moonfolk gives something power 2 or less.
Unblockable, then pump it
afterwards. Yeah. Midnight Covenant is very, very strong.
Yeah. So here's what we did with it.
And now there's 1 in a black. Enchanted creature has the shade ability. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 1 or fewer cards in your hand, you can return it from your graveyard to your hand. So you added that ability to this. I like the card. It's nice because auras are like kind of weak whenever you have them get 2 for 1, you know. So this is a way for it to come back if you get 2 for 1. Yeah, I like this card. It's very strong. I expect this to be a medium pick.
I think
just because auras you can't pick early. You just can't.
Next card, Myojin of Night's Reach. 5 black for a 5/2 legendary creature spirit. Whenever it comes into play, if you cast it from your hand, it gets a divinity counter and has indestructible as long as it has that counter. But you may remove that counter to make someone discard, or each opponent discard their entire hand.
You usually use the divinity counter in your opponent's draw step, so you get that 1 extra card. Be happy with it because it's an instant speed effect.
Or you just kept this indestructible creature in play. It's not very good. Honestly.
No, it's 8 mana for a 5/2. I think I like it more than some of the others, but
no one's got cards in hand by the time you're playing this card.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
In its limited format, it's so expensive that like.
I don't think it was good.
I don't think it was good.
But I don't know.
But I don't know.
It has a chance because hand size.
It's like if you can cast it and your opponent still has stuff and they couldn't answer it, like
and they couldn't counterspell.
Yeah. All right, but
so now it's increased in mana. It is now 6 and 3 black. It is a 5/2 still. It enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter when you cast it from your hand. Remove an indestructible counter from it. Return each non-legendary creature card in your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. I mean, it's extremely strong if you can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work with our cheating, which is
you gotta cast 9. Yeah, it doesn't work with cheating. That's on purpose. Obviously, none of the Myojins work with cheating.
Yeah. So I do not think this will be very good.
It's 9
because 9 is just too much.
It's too much.
It's just too much.
Yep.
But I understand you increasing its mana cost. I understand this idea. It's cool. Yeah, it's just I just don't think it's playable.
Yep. I think that it could be fun to try and play a red-black deck where you can play all the you can cheat it out.
You told me green has ramp. Maybe green-black is
green-black could ramp it. Yeah, it's also an option. All right, next one, Never-Ending Torment. 4 black, sorcery. Search target player's library for X cards, where X is the number of cards in your hand, and then exile those. Then they shuffle their library, and it's epic.
So the card that plans on winning with Mill. This card's really good in limited, actually. Of this limited, because you had relatively large hand size, and you stopped casting spell cards. So your hand size will always be at least 7.
Mm-hmm. And if you play a card that makes you have no maximum hand size before you play this,
then you can just draw until you're done. And so every turn, you're going to get a really large amount of cards out of your opponent's library. Because how slow the format went, they just wouldn't kill you in time before this comes
Even if they tried to cast them, and you're not doing anything else, and they're trying to cast as many creatures they have in their hand to kill you, but it's not going to be enough.
It's really funny because 6 mana for only dealing with players' libraries is extremely weak.
Yeah,
this does not do anything to the board. This is 6 mana to only win the game. That kind of effect is very bad.
Over the course of 3 or 4 turns.
Right.
And you're not allowed to do anything else after that.
Right. So it is also weak. This was not something that was common. Obviously it's rare, but this would
be an option as a win the game card in that format, which is weird for most formats. This would never be that way anywhere else.
Yep. Next card, or the version I did now.
Now it's 5 black, has the new version of Epic where you're still allowed to cast spells afterwards. And search target opponent's library for a card and exile it face down. Then that player shuffles their library. You may look at and play that card as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were any mana of any type to cast it. So you don't have to. You get to look through their deck. You get to pick their best card, and now you have it. Every single turn you get to do that.
Yep.
This card's really good at 7 mana. I'm not sure it's good enough, but I don't know.
Right.
The main thing about it is you still have to spend the mana on that card. So the first time you cast Never Ending Torment, you're probably not getting anything.
Right.
You're taking the best card out of the deck so they can't draw it.
Right.
You can play it next turn, but you can't do it right now.
Right. That's true. I think the red one's better than this one, but the red one is random. So the red one hits the top card of your deck, and you can play it till end of turn. And if you don't play it, it deals damage equal to its.
Yeah.
That one is just random off the top of your library.
Whereas this is getting their best card.
This one gets there. You search it up and look for it, and you're automatically taking their best card, so they no longer have it. Yeah. And you can cast it whenever you want.
Yeah. Nice catch.
I am a professional.
Yeah, I expect this card's a little too slow, but if you do resolve this card and we're going through the game, it can just win so easily.
It can be really good.
Yeah. I think I would still play this card most of the, maybe not most of the time. I would play this card in slow decks.
I think if you don't have 6 or 7 mana bombs in your really slow deck, this could just be it.
This is the one. This is a really good one.
It's just a bomb, yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking for an expensive bomb in your slow deck, this card's one of them. This card's definitely one of them.
Absolutely. Next card, Nazumi Bone Reader, 1 in the black for a 1/1 creature, rat shaman, black sacrifice a creature. Target player discards a card, plays the ability only anytime you could play a sorcery.
Oh, this card's pretty cool. I think in the format it probably wasn't very good because sacrificing creatures is difficult.
Yeah.
But it would work well with Soul Shift. This card seems actually probably okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got. Yeah, this is interesting. So I think this is a lot worse actually.
Yep. I actually do too.
1 in the black, 2/1, sacrifice a creature. Each player draws a card. So it's
discards
just a creature. What did I say?
Draws a card.
Draws a card. Discards a card. Yes. So we're losing a creature to sacrifice to this effect. Yeah. And then we're also losing a card out of our hand to get rid of one of their cards.
Yeah.
So the sacrifice or the discard has to be positive for us for this card to be good.
Yes.
It is a 2 mana 2/1, which is not good, but it means that we can be attacking with it, I think that this card can go in the right deck and be playable.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to do with it.
And that's where it goes. I don't think it's good in that deck even. I think it's just playable. I think it's what you need in that deck. And
I preferred to design it this way, where the effect, the problem with Nazumi Bone Reader is with my redesign, it's actually just really freaking good. And I actually didn't want that. I didn't want it to be like that, where it's just because I have all these extra tokens and all these better ways to recur things. It just seems almost oppressive if you have the creatures and it's easy to get them to play. Like you're playing black-white, you have all these things that make cheap tokens, and it's just well shit, my opponent right out the gate, next turn I just sack 3 things and they just don't have a hand anymore. Whereas this one it plays into the strategy of the discarding and sacrificing your own shit, so that this is only that good if you're getting a ton of triggers out of it.
So another problem with this card though is the annoyance again, because it's not as sorcery speed.
Yeah. So
you can just lock someone out of the game if you have enough creatures.
That's true.
Which is really rough because you can do this without hurting yourself if you just put your cards in play.
Right.
You don't discard cards when you don't have a hand.
Well, and we may find that these abilities are oppressive enough to not be worth it.
They need to be sorcery speed.
Or I think that's what I meant. Is that we turn them into sorcery, or we may find that being a strategy you can do in this
is worth it.
Is interesting enough. We'll find out.
Yep.
They are all attached to creatures like this, so you can kill them if you can get there.
Yep.
Nazumi Cutthroat, 1 in the black for a 2/1 fear that cannot block. Was probably decent actually.
Yeah.
Just an
fear is pretty useful. Yeah.
2 mana, 2 power, unblockable. Just gonna kill your opponent.
Yep, this is fine. Now it's 1 in a black for a 1/1 menace. Whenever it deals combat to a player, that player discards a card. Interesting. So it has its own a little bit of evasion, and it has a hit effect.
But it's not as strong power-wise.
But it's not a powerful... I think this card's good.
Yeah.
I think hitting people to discard a card is good, especially at 2 mana on a menace creature. 2 mana menace means, if you're on the play, that card's getting through for the first time.
Yep.
It may not get through after that. But it also means you can make board states where they have to leave back 2 creatures all the time to make sure they just don't have to discard.
And of course, this doesn't get there's some menace creatures that get blocked profitably. This will never get that way.
Exactly. This just being on the board though forces your opponent to not attack.
Yep.
It's really interesting. I think this card is very strong, and I will be very happy to pick this very early.
Yep, I think it's really good too. All right, next, Nazumi Grave Robber is 1 in the black for a 2/1 rat. That has 1 in the black, remove target card in opponent's graveyard from the game, but then, if there are no cards in that graveyard, you get to flip this into Night Eyes the Desecrator, which is a legendary creature rat that is a 4/2, has 4 in the black, put target creature card in a graveyard into play under your control.
I always thought Grave Robber could target yourself.
Nope, yeah, you can only target your opponents.
Interesting. So this card was good and limited, though. Just because it's a 2-mana 2/1, so it's a Goblin Piker, where those effects those creatures are like were okay filler at the time.
A little bit more
They're filler. But the ability to since it's so early, when your opponent has their first creature die or their first thing die, you just instantly flip it into the 4/2 that reanimates anything. Oh my gosh, because it hits your graveyard or theirs. Oh man,
this card was
Night Eyes
very
is
good.
great.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, this card's really good. Now it is a 1 in a black 2/1, 1 in a black, exile target card in the opponent's graveyard. Then if there are no cards in the graveyard, transform it, the same card. And then the other side is exactly the same as well.
Yep,
great.
exact card.
Yeah,
I just thought it
this
was
card's
good enough
awesome.
to keep.
This card's really cool.
Yep.
I'm not sure. Like, the coolness as well is that, like, having a minimal amount of graveyard hate and it being pretty expensive is really nice in a set like this, where your graveyard matters, but it doesn't matter enough to have graveyard hate, you know?
Right.
Like, it's not like, oh, our graveyard's a second hand. It's that we have a couple of cards that do things with the graveyard, Soul Shift and the black cards that come back. So you want a couple of graveyard hate cards that kind of incidentally do it almost, and that's kind of what this feels like. The point of this card is to reanimate our side, but you can use it as graveyard hate.
That's what I'm saying. Next one, Nazumi Ronan is a 3/1 Bushido 1 for 2 and a black.
It's fine. It attacks.
It's fine. It attacks. Got 3 power for 3, and whenever they block it, it's 4. So it'll kill 4 toughness creatures.
Yep.
It was probably way better than it looks because fucking that time zone.
Yep. Now, instead, though, it is a 1 blue and a black for a 1/1 menace. Whenever it enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and you draw a card. We had a card like this that cost 6 mana for a 3/3 flyer recently.
Yep.
And it was extremely good and
The card was
limited.
really good.
So this card feels like that with the discard and draw. It's just power and toughness. Its size, its creatureness is worse. But the thing about this, I think, is more, you're going to attack with this. It has menace. You'll ninjutsu it, and then you'll play it again.
That's just
this
what
card
this
is
is.
so good with sweep, with ninjas, with all of that stuff, with Moonfolk. You'll be very happy to redo this trigger over and over again. This card is extremely strong.
Yep, it's very high pick, but it is 2 colors. So.
Yeah, this card in vacuums is worse than the other one. 6 mana for a 3/3 flyer versus 3 mana for a 1/1 menace. It sounds ridiculous to say that +2/+2 and changing menace to flying is worth 3 extra mana, but it really
is because it's the same trigger, which is still good trigger.
Yeah, but this card is actually just going to be better because of how this set is built.
Yep, you don't want to pay 6 mana over and over again. To 3 mana over and over again? Okay. Nazumi Shadow Watcher, black for a 1/1 creature rat warrior. Sacrifice it to destroy target ninja.
This card's really good. By really good, I mean terrible. By the way,
cool. That makes so much sense when you say 2 opposite things.
Like, as in, like, it just wins. Like, it not wins. It's a 1 mana removal spell.
For ninjas only.
Right.
It's bad. This card's horrible. Yeah. But
instead, it's black for a 1/1 menace. It gets +1/+1 for each player with 1 or few cards in their hand. So it could be a 2/1 menace. At best, it's a 3/1 menace. This card's pretty weak. Like, really weak, actually, I think. Generally speaking,
it's a 1-drop, but yeah.
It'll be a 1/1 menace, which is useful for the same things we were talking about before with the ninjas.
And,
But most of the time, that's all it's really good for, I think. So you want this in a ninjas deck, maybe, that has good 2-cost ninjutsus, especially.
Sure, yeah.
And otherwise, I don't think I like this card.
Fair enough, yep. Could be a 3/1 menace, but...
It's hard to do that, though.
Yeah.
You have to try really hard. And I don't think it's worth trying really hard to make your 1-drop into a 3/1 menace.
Fair enough.
Especially because it won't be that until much later.
Yeah, that's totally true.
I was completely joking, by the way, if we didn't want to be clear. The old version of this card was very bad.
Yeah, horrible card. I was really confused by the way you said that. It was like...
Yeah, I wanted to be clear now. The
Yeah.
card's bad.
Yeah. Alright, Nazumi Short Fang. 1 in the black for a 1/1 that has 1 in black tap. Target opponent discards a card. Then if they have no cards in hand, flip it. Notably, that is instant speed. You can do it on their doorstep.
Yeah, that's probably why it was so strong and so notable, is that you could do it at instant speed.
It is a rare. And if they have no cards in hand after you do that, you flip into Stab Whisker, the Odious, which is a 3/3. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, they lose 1 life for each card fewer than 3 they have in hand.
So with Nazumi Shortfang, usually if you could avoid it, you'd want to actually not flip it. You just want to use it as a repeatable discard. And I think you could usually do that until you get them already low. Once you have them low, then you flip Stab Whisker.
Yeah, well, that's why. It only flips when they have no cards in hand.
Low on life, I'm saying.
Oh, when they have... Oh, yeah, okay.
Once they're low on life, then you're happy to flip it, turn it into a rack effect, deal a couple damage to them or upkeep, and it's a 3/3 that can hit them in the face. The repeatable discard is really useful on a card like this. It's a lot of value, honestly.
Yeah, we kept it exactly the same.
I love Nazumi Shortfang, and it used to be in Vintage Cube. That's
how good it was. I did change the back to be easier to keep track of.
The what? Oh, that player loses 3 life if they have 1 or fewer cards in hand.
Yep. So
okay.
So it's better if they have 1, but worse if they have 2.
And that's it. Yeah, okay, cool.
It's a, what's the card? Shrieking Affliction.
Shrieking Affliction, yeah. Okay.
It's just easier to keep track of.
Yep, reasonable.
Alright, Night Dealings. 2 black for an enchantment. Whenever a source you control deals damage to another player, you put that many theft counters on this. Then you can play 2 black and remove X theft counters from it to search your library for a non-land card with a converted mana cost X, and then reveal it and put it in your hand and then shuffle your library.
I don't know if this ever could see play unlimited. It's too much mana and too much investment, but it is a very cool card.
It's a cool card, but the mana is so high.
Yeah.
And you also...
And you have to deal damage.
You have to deal damage, and then you're only getting things based on how many counters you remove, so you're getting specific mana costs.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to reveal it. They'll know what it is.
Yeah, because you have to know show them based on the mana.
I really like the designs of those so much that I kept it very similar.
So 2 black when a source you control deals damage to another player, put that many theft counters on. Now it's just black to remove X theft counters to search your library for an mana with mana value X, reveal it, and put it in your hand and shuffle. The card's still bad, I think. Still very bad.
Yep. But I wanted to tweak it. I didn't want to go further than this, I don't think. I think there was nothing further I wanted to do mana-wise. I mean, I could have flipped it and made it black to cast and then 4 to activate, but
Wouldn't
it's
that
like...
be worse?
Well, it's better because you can play it earlier.
Oh, that means the source's damage happens
so
earlier.
you can get counters earlier.
Yeah. It just means multiple activations is worse in that scenario.
So I went with this though instead, but because you can play it and 4th turn is a good attacking turn because your 2 and 3 drop can attack. It's probably not good, but I did want to try it because I like the design a lot. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to keep the design and tweak the numbers to a comfortable place. It's still probably not good, but I couldn't see a better change.
I expect that this is unplayable, but I'm not certain.
There are definitely other changes that you can make it cost less mana in some way, but I'm worried that it gets too good.
I just don't think that this design was worth salvaging, actually.
Okay.
It is a little interesting, but it's not that interesting.
I think it's really interesting.
Okay.
So I salvaged it. Next card, Knight of Soul's Betrayal, 2 black, legendary enchantment. All creatures get -1/-1.
Yeah. Card's cool, bad limited. Doesn't do anything.
Kills tokens.
Yeah.
So we kept it.
Okay. I expect it to be better in this format than it was for those kinds of cards, but I don't expect it to be that good.
You're rarely playing
this.
you
very rarely play it.
But I think that's important because I want it to be a cycle card.
I forgot to say this. Deck with very few creatures this is good in.
Yeah, that too. Even if it just makes them smaller.
Yeah, because getting all your opponent's stuff to be 1 less damage to you is actually good.
It's huge, yeah. Yeah, the 4-mana enchantment that creatures your opponent control get -1/-0. That card was good.
That card was insane in that limit.
That was back in Return to Zendikar.
It was weird that it was so good.
Yeah. That card was awesome. Alright, next... Numai Outcast, 3 and a black for a 1/1 Bushido 2 has black pay 5 life regenerate it.
Yeah, this was almost good. This card was almost good.
The 5 life is so
lot.
big. It's so enormous that this would have been good if it weren't for how big that was.
Yeah, if it was like pay 2 life, then we would love this card.
Yeah, it'd be insane.
But that's not what happened. So now it's 3 and a black for a 2/2 honor. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under you control, it gets +2/+2 until turn. Black, pay 3 life. When it dies this turn, return to the battlefield tapped. Interesting you went with that instead of the indestructible that you've done on some of the other ones.
Yep, and it's because in black there's a sacrifice theme minorly.
And also, obviously, this can trigger
Re-trigger honor. Yep.
Yeah. It's interesting. Why didn't you do that on the other one?
Because different ones were serving very different purposes. So, for example, I only did it with a couple because it's a powerful way to do it. And then the other ones were like their regenerates were very simple versions of regenerate. Then this one had this extra life text, which made me think to make it its own thing.
Okay. I think I would be okay with all of them having this text. I think that it would be pretty reasonable and it would feel better. Like
I think indestructible is important for attacking.
Why?
Because you get to stay attacking. If I attack and you cast a removal spell on it and I give it indestructible, it's still attacking.
Sure. Okay, removal spell. That's what it is. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that.
Sorry.
I was assuming this is in combat.
Sure. No, in combat it's
the same, but yeah, you're right. With removal spells, indestructible is better. Okay. Okay, sure.
So, and they're different for different reasons. I didn't want them all to just be the same either. I think that this ability is actually it's pretty powerful to be able to do this when it matters.
Yeah.
Whenever it actually dying and it actually coming back matters, that's powerful. So
yeah, it is.
I didn't want it to just be on all the regenerators.
On a lot of them is a lot. You're right. Yeah. Is it only this one, or are there others that have this?
You'll see there's 1 or 2 others that have their own ways of it working.
Okay, sure.
So. Ogre Marauder, 1 black for a 3/1 creature ogre. Whenever it attacks, it cannot be blocked this turn unless defending player sacks a creature.
Wow, this card's good.
Yeah, right?
Wow, this card's good? What the heck?
Yeah, this card's good.
I don't think it's like... I don't think it fits in the set. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I just like, but the design's like good. They don't do this.
They don't do this.
So I kept it.
I mean,
It's hard to block. You ninjutsu it. You're fine.
It's kind of like Menace, but a lot more punishing. Like, you know, it's like, wow, what the heck?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's very interesting.
So I kept it, and
this card's
build
good.
ninjutsu when they don't block it if you don't need the 3 damage.
Yeah,
Good card.
Good.
We like it. Okiba Gang Shinobi, 3 black for a 3/2 ninjutsu, 3 and a black rat ninja, of course. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, they discard 2 cards.
I have a sneaking suspicion you didn't change this.
Wait, hold on. How'd you know? That's so crazy.
This card's really good.
Card's really, really good.
Yeah. Like, it's an expensive ninjutsu, but discarding 2 cards is huge.
Yeah.
This card's just good.
Yeah, this card's just good.
And, yeah, I'll expect it to be, not super high pick.
Right.
Just good.
Yep, this good. We love it. This is just great. 1 with nothing, black, instant, discard your hand.
All right, tell me about it. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
all right.
it makes you heck bent.
It makes you heck bent. It triggers all of your when you like measure of wickedness. You just do it. Discard your whole hand. Do that. Obviously that sucks. This card's bad. Don't play it. But the thing is, the meme value's so strong, and I made this set work so much better with this card. So now this card's actually has the capacity to do something in this set.
Yeah.
Which means the meme value's stronger because you can go, oh, I did actually win with
because I won with nothing.
Yeah, I discarded 5 cards from my hand, triggered Measure of Wickedness 5 times, and they died.
And it cost me 1 mana.
It cost me 1 mana.
Yeah.
So, but don't pick it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go.
But it's cute. Pick it if you want to do the meme.
Yeah.
And that's why it's there.
Everybody wants to meme.
Exactly. So that's why it's in there.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Oni Possession is 2 and a black for an enchanted creature, so it's an aura. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you got to sacrifice a creature. But enchanted creature gets +3/+3, has trample, and is a demon spirit.
So it turns on all of your Oni stuff, your ogre stuff as well.
Yeah.
Because now you have a demon.
Right.
+3/+3 tramples a lot actually for 3 mana. Like, jam. This is fine in a hyper aggressive deck.
It's gonna kill him.
It's gonna kill him. It's only fine though. Like you should almost never play this card, but when you do, it will win the game.
Yeah, that's big buffs. If I've learned anything, that auras can be good if the buff is big enough.
Yeah. That
you can just win the game. Yes, you're putting your eggs in a basket, but if they die before they can kill it, it doesn't matter.
Usually, especially with evasion. Trample is a form of evasion. So
it's
1 and a black now. All the same for the rest of everything? Oh,
no.
At the beginning of your upkeep, discard a card or sacrifice a permanent.
Yep.
Enchanted creatures +2/+2 trampoline as a demon spirit. This card will be very good.
Yeah, I would expect this card to be very strong.
Sacrificing any permanent makes it a lot better.
Yep, flexible. Do it whatever you want.
Yeah, you can sacrifice your lands in the
You can
late
sacrifice
game.
this aura if it's the last thing, so you don't lose your creature.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's really good. Because
Yep.
the old one would eventually sacrifice the creature it's enchanted with.
Yes.
This one will just turn itself off.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, sure.
This card seems really good.
Yeah, I like this. It is flavorfully less interesting. Like, it's doing that less, you know what I mean? Whenever
Yeah.
you're sacrificing
You're not sacrificing the
Oni
creature
possession instead of itself, yeah.
Yep, for sure.
But, you know, I like it anyways.
It'll play way better. I wanted an aura that didn't replace itself, like a lot of the auras do, that you'd still clearly play when you're aggressive. And I actually think those are fun auras. Because we played that format where there was the +2/+2 in Menace.
Yeah.
Or that was +3/+0 in Menace.
Madcap skills.
That card
insane.
Card. And I liked that. I liked that being powerful because then when I played against it, I was like, if I get a removal, I 2-for-1 them, I'm good. But when you're playing with it, you're like, if they don't have a removal, they're fucking dead.
I felt the exact opposite of what you're saying.
What?
Whenever I was against it, I was like, I'm fucking dead unless I get a removal. And whenever I'm playing with it, I'm like, man, they just have it. They're going to have a removal.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. It's the same text.
It's the same text, but it means
different.
the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You think the person with the madcap skills is always going to lose. I think the madcap skills person is always going to win.
I don't think that, but yeah.
But that's what the words we used sounded like.
I'm more positive when I'm playing. Anyway, Pain's Rewards 2 and a black for a sorcerer. You bid any amount of life. In turn order, each player may top the highest bid. The bidding ends if the high bid stands. So it's like regular bidding of other things, if you know about that. The high bidder loses life equal to the high bid and draws 4 cards. So you go in a circle, or you go back and forth if it's 2 players, and either the person bids higher so that they would lose more life, or they say you can have it and you lose however much your last bid was.
So this card's actually good. Drawing 4 cards is a lot. And in aggressive decks, you will always have more life than your opponent.
Yep.
There is a card called Wheel of Misfortune from a
from Commander set.
Commander set that is now in what do you call it? Vintage Cube. And in mono red, it is just 3 mana, draw 7 cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. Because you can always bid higher than your opponent. So in an aggressive deck, Pain's Reward is quite good.
I went in an interesting direction with it.
Sure.
It's very going to play out very similarly. The difference is I took away the opponent being involved.
So 2 and a black, target player loses half their life rounded up and draws 4 cards. So we get to choose who does it.
Yes.
So this card is already a card, by the way.
What?
Infernal Contract is 3 black. It's black, black, black. You lose half your life and draw 4 cards. It's just can't do it to them.
Fine. Well, we have this now.
This is just better.
Yeah.
By a lot.
Yeah.
And Infernal Contract is broken.
Shut your mouth.
This card's broken.
It's not broken. It's just amazing.
It's broken.
Damn it. Fine. What if it says target player loses... No. Not target player loses. You lose 10 life and draw 4 cards. How about that?
That card's unplayable, right?
See, here's the problem, Nate. You're screwing me up. I want this card because I don't like this card letting your opponent be in on it, because I don't like the games where you could get nothing out of the card you cast.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So the point was to just put it all in your hands. I didn't know that. I guess I just forgot that was a card. Is it really that broken?
Yeah, it was part of Prosbloom.
Sure, but Prosbloom's, by today's standards, is not a good deck.
True.
This card's fine.
Infernal Contract was, 3 black, black. Black, 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 you lose half your life, rounded up, draw 4 cards. I don't know. This card's insane. 3 mana, draw 4 cards is just insane.
Yeah, it is. So what do you... Can I not leave it this way?
You can. It's just insane. Like, I don't know. It's only good in aggro decks, obviously.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say only. It's usually only good in aggro decks. You can play it in the other decks and you can figure it out.
We'll play it. That's what's going to happen.
It's going to be good.
Like, remember, I do like having really powerful cards that are going to be... You're going to feel good to play them. You're going to be like, yes, I got it.
It's really good in aggro decks, especially with the ability to target your opponent, actually.
Yeah.
You put them there. You have half their life total in play as damage. You just target them and you win the game.
Okay, I think we'll need to redesign this, but essentially, I just want a card with, like, incredibly good life to card ratio. Like not good life to... I want a incredibly good mana to cards ratio.
That costs life.
Where you would cost a fuck ton of life. That's what I wanted. And I liked the idea of 3 mana, draw 4, you pay a bunch of life, so...
I don't know. You could do a high amount of life instead, and it might be fine, but I don't know.
What if it's you lose 8 life?
I don't know. I can't think of how good that would be. It seems extremely strong, but maybe it's okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's that makes it even more only in an aggro deck, which is interesting. Like, as in, like, it's not just broken. Like I think this card is.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about it. I didn't think about just on turn 3, make them lose 10 life and then get going.
I mean, well, you're not going to do it turn 3. You'll do it when you have lethal in play, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you wait until they're at 16,
Well,
you have 8 power
awkward,
and
so
more.
you wait until you have 8 power. So
And
they
then
can... That's not that... I mean, I don't think that's
No, the thing is that's the secondary plan.
Yeah. Okay.
Primary plan is to just draw 4 cards.
Oh, see.
And then you also have this option of just kill your opponent when you have half their life total in play and damage.
Okay. All right. That's fair. We might do something else.
And it's good in aggro decks both ways.
I do want it to be good in aggro decks, but yeah. Okay. I want it to be good in aggro decks in a way that if you're against them, the way you get to play is that it takes you very little effort to kill them if you can survive them.
Yeah.
Like what happens is the aggro decks they play all their shit, run out of cards, play this, get a bunch of cards back, but then if you can still survive that, they're gonna die like very fast.
You can have it set you to a specific life total and draw you 4 cards.
If you're here's what.
And only if you're above it.
But then if you're below it,
it doesn't draw you cards. Just make it bad, like dead. Or draws you way less cards.
I don't like.
Draws you way less cards.
Well, you just okay. Hold on, let me think.
Like 1, maybe.
There was a card in Strixhaven that I'm thinking about that lets you choose to pay life to draw these cards, but you pay a lot. It's like 3 per card.
I don't know.
So, it's a lot of mana. It's like 2 black, reveal the top 5 cards of your library. You may pay 3 life for any of them and to put in your hand.
I think I remember this idea. Yeah. Okay.
What if that's what this card did?
Pay 3 life for each of 4 cards.
5 cards.
5 cards for 3 mana?
Yeah.
It's really strong. That's really, really, really strong.
You pay 9 life for 3 cards, 12 life for 4.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
That's probably okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't.
But you get to choose though.
You want to choose just like that card? You just want to do that card?
Well, yeah, that card was horrible.
What?
It was horrible. It was unplayable. They never saw any play in constructed or even limited because it's horrible.
I think I played it in limited.
It's because the front side's good. The front side's a creature. 3/2 for 3 that gains life and does stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Alright, we'll figure this one out at some point. Damn, a lot of bots. This is like the fourth
Third one
bot.
today.
No, fourth.
Huh.
Alright. I think... I don't know about that one, though. I actually like the simplicity of this.
I like the simplicity. It is just broken.
What?
I like the simplicity. It is just broken.
Okay, so when you say broken, are you not okay with it being in there?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying, what if I change it to only that, just the card you showed me? But...
Infernal Contract?
Yeah, but I guess 2 in a black, because...
That's boring.
So you like this version better even though it's more broken?
No, I would be not okay with either of those cards.
Alright, cool. So we're redesigning it to just... Okay, cool. I kind of want the... So how do you feel about the one I said earlier, though, that was just like, you draw 4 cards and lose 8 or 10 life?
I think it's probably okay. I just don't know.
Okay. Pain Wrecker Oni is 3 black for a 5/4 fear creature demon spirit. At the beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice a creature if you don't control an ogre.
So the card you're talking about still, from before, that loses a lot of life to draw a bunch of cards?
Yeah.
What about when you don't have that life?
What about it?
You were not okay earlier with you not being able to pay life.
What?
We were talking about pay a certain amount of life, draw 4 cards, but if you have less than that, we were talking about, you draw a lot less cards instead. So what if you put that on this card as well? So you
Okay. Yeah, we'll get
you may pay a certain number of life, draw 4 cards if you don't draw a card or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just so it has the ability to not be just a dead card in your hand when you're down to 8 life, you know? Because otherwise it's just sitting there and you can't do anything with it.
As an additional cost to cast this, you may pay 10 life.
If you do, draw 3 cards and then draw a card.
No, because if you do, you draw 3 cards.
That's additional cost, oops.
Yeah, so you say, as additional cost, you may pay 10 life. And then in the text, you say, draw a card. If you paid its cost...
Draw 4 instead.
Draw 4 instead.
Okay, so 5 mana, 5/4 fear. Beginning of your upkeep, sacrifice an ogre if you don't... Sacrifice a creature if you don't control an ogre. This is a lot worse than the discard one.
But its fear is stronger than trample.
Yeah. I mean, against non-black decks, obviously. I think this card's bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty bad. The other one, you could actually have it not be a cost, even if you didn't have ogres.
You're just like, I don't care about ogres.
Yeah, but sacrificing creature, you're going to end up sacking this if you don't, at some point. It can't be alone on the board, like the other one can. So this card's just much worse.
So, 2 black now for a 5/4 menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player sacrifices a creature. So,
you could still
when you get back around, it's at least a 1-for-1,
Yeah.
Yeah, this card is a lot better. Yep. A lot better. I like this card. I think it is...
It's okay.
It's playable, yeah.
Still got to sack creatures.
You got to have a deck that's happy with this card.
But I will say that if it is staying in play, it's really powerful because they're losing blockers on the trigger, and it's a menace creature.
Yeah, so it'll hit them for a lot. It's only 4 mana as well. It's good.
Yep. Next card, Patron of Nazumi, is 5 black for a 6/6 legendary creature spirit that has Rat Offering, and offerings let you sack creatures to play them at instant speed and reduce their mana cost by the creature that you sacrificed's mana cost.
But based on a specific creature type, in this case,
yeah, it's got to be rats in this situation. Whenever a permanent is put into an opponent's graveyard, that player loses 1 life.
Yeah. Really good card, honestly.
Really, really good card. Yep.
7 mana, 6/6 with really good text. So now the new one now has Emerge instead of Rat Offering, so you can sacrifice any creature, and it doesn't have to be a rat, and it lets you pay up to all of this mana cost except for just a black mana. Mm-hmm. So you cast this, you sack a 6-drop and it costs black. You sack a 7-drop, it still costs black, but it doesn't let you do it at flash, at speed, which is something that Rat Offering did. Mm-hmm. It's only a 5/4 instead of 6/6 because 6/6 big. And whenever a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay, so that's really good. It works whenever you're putting things into their graveyard by killing them. It works whenever you're milling them. It works your own creatures or your own cards or their cards, or when you're discarding or when they're discarding.
Yep.
You're going to have people losing a lot of life at the end of the game with this. So it is an end game card still. But Emerge, I think, is... the The last Emerge card I called one of the best cards that we'd seen so far. Maybe the best card we had seen by that time. I think Emerge in this set is very, very strong. And this card will be very, very strong. This is a bomb.
I agree. This is a bomb. Yep. Absolutely. All right, next one. Psychic Spear, black, sorcery. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a spirit or arcane card from it, and they discard it.
This is crap.
It's a horrible garbage trash card. Why? What is it doing here?
I played it in a sideboard one time.
Yeah, I mean, it is a sideboard card.
I'm just saying I brought it in one time and I was like, yeah, got him. Now instead, it's target player reveals their hand. You may choose a creature or tribal card from it. The player discards that card. So it hits all the spirits still, but it also hits
creatures.
But it also hits other creatures, yeah.
Yep, that's the important
So
part.
this card is slightly better. I don't know if it's good. Who cares?
On the verge of Thoughtseize, really.
We want to discard their cards, you know.
Yeah, so we play this.
So we play this, and limited creatures are the most important thing anyways, so it gets all those.
It gets all those, and then it hits a certain percentage of instants and sorceries.
Yeah, and we can target ourselves with it.
Boy,
to get a card into the yard that
anyway,
we can reanimate.
We've been over this in the last in the white video. Pull under is 5 and a black for an instant arcane. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. You picked it, and it's limited, but removal was so much worse back then.
Yeah, we would never do that again today.
Yep. And we're not going to go over it for too long because...
2 and a black, target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Travel into spirit, sweep. Return 2 permanents to your hand to do it again. So this one can target the same thing twice. So you can kill an 8/8 with it, or you can kill 2 4/4s with it when you sweep. This card's amazing. You pick this very early.
One of the better removal spells.
Yep.
A lot of the removal spells in black are really strong, and I like that.
Yep.
Puskami, 5 black for a creature spirit, 3/3 for 7. Woo! You could pay black and sacrifice it to destroy target non-black creature, and then it has Soul Shift 6.
Who cares?
You probably played it, but damn.
Sometimes.
I doubt this was anywhere near as it probably felt horrible, right?
Yeah, you just don't want to pay 8 mana to kill something. You get the Soul Shift.
Ooh. It's an installment 7 than 1.
The damage goes on the stack. You can block and kill something and kill 2 things. Man, this card's rough.
I had to change every single one of the sacrifice things to make them work better and make more sense because, they all back then had damage on the stack, and
so
now we don't
power
have
them way
that.
down.
Yeah.
So now Puskami is a 5 black green 5/4, where you sacrifice it to destroy target non-land permanent, and has Soul Shift 6, Soul Shift 6. Mm-hmm. This card is strong. This card is so soul shifting. So much Soul Shift.
Yeah, dude, lots of Soul Shift.
Yeah. So I think this card's extremely strong, but it is also extremely expensive.
Lots of mana, but it gives you stuff for it.
Black green value with ramp. I bet this card is exactly where you want to be. You're killing stuff, but you're also having a lot of value, and it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
5/4's fine. You know, if you
for 7 mana, it's too small. But we're doing so much. Of course, it's got to be too small.
If we don't have anything to kill yet, let's just do this thing.
Yeah, have a 5/4 in play. Yeah, this card's really good. I like it. I'll pick it pretty early.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card. Rag Dealer's black for a creature human rogue 1/1. It has 2 and a black tap. Remove up to 3 target cards from a single graveyard from the game.
What the hell? Dude, I get it. Okay, you have Rag Dealer because you know that you're gonna later draw your Nazumi Short Fang, and you want it to flip as soon as possible.
Wrong card.
Wrong card?
Nazumi Short Fang is the discard.
Never mind. No, that's the right one. Oh, no, that's the wrong one.
That's the discard one, Nate.
Grave Robber?
Nazumi Graveyard Robber.
Grave Robber. Oh, Nazumi Grave Robber. There we go. I'm going to flip. It's terrible. This is what we're saying. Black now for a 1/1 that says black tap, exile target card from a graveyard. Put a plus one as a counter on Rag Dealer if a spirit card is exiled this way. This card's also pretty bad. Really bad, actually, I think. But it's a lot cheaper, which is really nice.
It's also just the graveyard hate, so that if your opponent's going super nuts with their Soul Shift loops, you can side this in and be like, I've got a way to stop these loops.
Yeah, this feels like maybe a sideboard card for that kind of effect. Hitting spirits and getting bigger is nice because it does hit your graveyard as well. If you have some useless spirits that you played, you don't care.
Or
you play this instant sorcery just because we're going to play it.
Yeah.
And then you exile and get it bigger. Regular is probably playable, but it's really low side of that.
Yeah.
Really low.
All right, Ragged Veins, 1 and a black for enchant creature. You may play it as it's got flash, and whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, its controller loses that much life. So you're gonna put on your
the Jackal Pup effect.
Yeah. Put on your opponent's creatures whenever they're gonna get hit for damage, and they take a bunch of damage. It's bad.
They're doing a chump block, and you're like, dude, but actually you didn't actually block your creature dead, and you also take the damage anyways.
It's really bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
There's nothing else to say about that.
All right, now the new version is 1 and a black. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent or discard, it's an enchantment regular now, no longer an aura. 1 and a black. Whenever you sacrifice a permanent or discard a card, put a blood counter on Ragged Veins. Okay. Remove 3 blood counters. Each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. I don't like this card. All it does is get drain life, and it requires a lot of work to get there.
Yep.
But it's cheap, so there's a chance this is playable. I just highly doubt it.
Yeah, it's just doing the thing. It's just like, Are we sacrificing permanents and discarding cards?
As I said earlier, though, 3 is the point where siphoning life from your opponent gets to be a real big noticeable thing that hurts a lot and gains you a lot of life. Right. You know, 3's a big number.
A way to look at this is it's like whenever you sacrifice a permanent or discard a card, each opponent loses life, you gain 1 life. But it can
not that good.
But it's not. You can't. It's worse than that.
It's a little worse than that because you have to do it in 3s.
Yep.
Yeah. It's. I think it's not good. I think it's not playable. Is what I'm trying to say. Actually, I'm not sure.
We will find out. We'll see if that deck can do this well enough. If it costs too much or if it costs too little to do this sacrificing permanents and discarding cards.
Yeah.
Raving Oni Slave is 1 in black for a 3/3 creature ogre warrior. Whenever it comes into play, you lose 3 life if you don't have a demon, and when it dies or leaves play, you lose another 3 life if you don't control a demon.
This card's good.
Card's good.
It looks terrible, and it is
3/3.
terrible now. But 2 mana 3/3 is just like wow. And if you're the aggro deck, losing 6 life over time is like, who cares? But you're also probably playing some demons, you know, so maybe you won't lose life.
Right, exactly.
But on turn 2, you don't have any demons, so you're losing 3.
Yeah, whatever. Lose 3. We'll pay that.
Yeah, for this 3/3. So now it is 1 in black for a 3/3. Enters the battlefield, you lose 3 life unless you sacrifice a permanent or discard a card. Awesome. I like this card. It's very, very strong.
Yep.
Because you have 3 options, and all of them, depending on what you're doing, are not a big deal.
Yeah.
Or they may be positive with the
if
discard.
I'm low, I can sacrifice a permanent or discard a card. If there's a trigger I want from sacrificing cards or sacrificing permanents and discarding cards, I can do that. Or if it's just turn 2 and I want to play a creature, 3 life.
Yeah, this card's extremely good.
Yep. Razorjaw Oni 3 in a black for a 4/5 creature demon spirit that says black creatures cannot block.
Problem here is you're a black deck.
It's a black creature. It cannot block.
Yeah, so it's fine. It's really good against black decks.
Yeah.
But like
mostly a drawback.
It's meant to be a drawback. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a 4/5 for 4.
It's playable barely.
No.
Creatures can't block, making it a 3 mana 3/4. So this is more interesting. It does the same thing, but you don't have to be more against a black deck. But none of your creatures can block suddenly. Yeah. So it has to be aggressive. But it's good at doing that. So I like this card for very specific kind of decks.
Yep.
I shouldn't even say very specific, just very aggressive decks.
Just aggressive decks.
This is very aggressive.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm not blocking it anymore anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. Get them.
Get them.
My cards are tapped.
Rend Flesh, 2 in a black, instant arcane, destroy target non-spirit creature.
So the problem here is
there's a little bit too many spirits.
Too many spirits. This card's playable.
It is playable. There's enough non-spirits. I did the math. There are actually a decent bit of non-spirits. There's a little bit more than half non-spirits.
Yeah. It's just frustrating because there can be so many times you're like, I gotta kill that spirit. This doesn't do it. This doesn't do it. Yeah. And so we kept it and made it cheaper. I like it. One in the black instead. It's a great board card, and you can main deck it, and it's fine.
I think you'll probably main deck it more than you won't, but it misses enough to where you're annoyed.
Yeah. We like playing cards that are situational removal for very cheap, and that's very cheap, you know?
Yep. Rend Spirit is 2 in a black, instant, destroy target spirit.
I assume it's a 1 in a black card now.
Nope, it's black.
Okay, just because there's less spirits.
There are less spirits.
This card is significantly stronger than the other card, I think.
I actually think you're right, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they're still both like playable main deck. They're both doing their thing, you know? Yep. That's okay. Yeah,
absolutely.
This card's good.
Absolutely. All right, Scourge of Numai is 3 in a black for a 4/4 creature demon spirit. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life if you don't control an ogre.
This card's great.
Yeah, you just lose the 2 life and you're fine.
Yeah. Lose the 2 life, you're okay, and you're playing ogres because you're black, so sometimes it won't lose the life. That's nice. Yeah, this card's good. 4 mana 4/4. Now it's a 3 mana 3/3 at the beginning of your upkeep. Each player loses 2 life. This is great. This is a hyper aggressive card. You're ending people's lives.
Yep, you can't not take the life now, but the point is to push you to.
You want to end the game ASAP.
Yeah.
So people got to remove.
And this is how all of the demon spirits were changed, by the way. I took away all the ogre stuff because there's no way to make that AB mechanic worth playing or interesting. So instead, I made all the demon spirits. All the ogres work with the Heckman stuff, but all the demon spirits are at the beginning of your upkeep do a symmetrical thing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that a lot.
Yep. All right. Except for the razor draws, just creatures can't block.
Sure, yeah.
But it's symmetrical.
Yeah.
It's symmetrical, yeah. All right, next one is Scuttling Death, 4 in a black for a 4 in a black for a 4/2 Soul Shift 4 that you can sacrifice it. Target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Gotta remember, damage on the stack was around back then.
This card was sick.
Yeah, because you would block or it would get blocked, and with damage on the stack, meaning that 4 damage was still going to hit whatever that creature was, you can sack it to give another thing -1/-1, or the thing -1/-1
5
to kill
toughness
5
creature.
toughness.
Yeah, and then you get your Soul Shift effect.
God,
yeah, this card was not bad.
I'm so glad damage on the stack was taken away, actually. It makes combat so much more interesting, actually. So, damage on the stack made combat more complex, but only complex to find the right path.
Yeah, but the right path was more obvious.
Was more cemented.
If you knew what
there
it
was a correct thing. There was always a correct thing. Now, it's more about knowing what you could have and what you have in hand than it was back then, because now it's like, I'm either losing this creature to get the effect, or I'm trading. Which one of those two things is more important for me?
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it makes.
I think
I've listened to a lot of podcasts from not just Mark Rosewater, but LSV and stuff like that, talking about why the change actually makes for better combat, better gameplay.
And I've experienced that myself as well.
Yeah.
It's just hearing it exactly that way. It seems pretty reasonable way to put it.
Yep.
Now it is instead a 4 and a black 5/2 with Soul Shift 4 still, Spirit. Sacrifice it to give target creature -3/-3 until end of turn. Yeah, this seems good. This seems playable. I like this card a lot. It's conditional removal. It's expensive, but it's also a 5-mana 5-power creature, and it also does Soul Shift. Like it's got a lot of stuff going.
Yeah, it could just be like sorcery speed. Target creature gets -2/-3, get a creature back from your yard. That's a fun card.
Great.
It's a fun card.
Yeah. By great, I don't mean great. Sorry. Yeah.
That's
it's
a real card that existed actually.
Yeah.
That was like instant speed though, but it was 5 mana. It was from Ravnica, the third Ravnica block. It was 5 mana. Target creature is -2/-3 until end of turn.
Raised dead.
Raised dead, but there was conditional raised dead. You had to have done something.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember what it had to have happened.
Okay.
But all right, Seizen, Perverter of Truth, 3/black for a 6/5 legendary creature, Demon Spirit. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards.
This card's amazing.
Yeah, your opponent does get to draw first though. But
Yeah,
it's
there's always
still
the
great.
problem with the kind of effect is they draw
Big
first.
creature, and you're also still going to get the cards if they didn't kill it.
It's a Demon Spirit, so it does the Demon Spirit thing, so that means it's also in the aggro deck that we want to be ending the game very fast, and the first turn after you play this, they have to lose 2 life.
Yep.
You know, like you're smashing.
It's the old version. The new version is slightly different.
All right, now we've got 3 black for a 6/5 still. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player does it. So instead of them drawing first, we draw at the same time on my turn.
Yep, so if they want to kill it, neither of us get the cards.
Yeah,
If they
that's
don't
good.
kill it, we both get the cards.
I like
Lose
this
2
card
life.
because it was already pretty powerful, so it
Yeah.
stays exactly as
I
powerful.
did want to keep it mostly
conceptually.
the same, but
Yeah.
I liked keeping it in line with all the rest of their triggers.
Yeah, this is great. I love this card. I think it is...
a little bit more powerful, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah. I think actually in comparison to the cards around it, this card is definitely weaker than that card was. You know, that card was stronger in its environment than this one will be in our environment.
If you're really wanting to kill your opponent with the 2 life and everything like that, it is weaker because they can, if they can untap and sorcery speed, kill it and not lose life.
Oh, yeah. That's not more what I was talking about. I more just meant like a 6/5 for 5 with an asymmetrical effect like this is weaker than it was then.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Alrighty. Love this card though. It'll be good.
Yeah. This card will be a pickable card pretty early, I think. I think pretty early. I'm not sure.
Yeah, alright. Shinnin of Fierce Chill is 4 and a black for a 3/2 creature spirit. It cannot block, but you can pay 1 and a black, discard it with channel to make target creature not be able to block.
This is the first time I came into contact with this kind of effect where you have a card that is on your side of the board that can't block, you know, but you're able to use it on your opponent's side of the board to stop them from blocking too.
Yeah.
And that's what that Oni did earlier as well, or the Ogre, or whatever. It was an Oni, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that says the black creatures can't block.
Yeah.
Well, there's also like red enchantments that like give your creature bumps and they can't block, and you're like, all right, sweet.
And you can
But you
put it
could
on
use
their-
it on their guy to make them not block, so you can get through.
Yeah.
This is the first time I came into contact with that, so I love this card. It's really bad though.
Yeah.
5 mana 3/2 that can't block is worthless.
Horrible. Such bad stats, such bad mana, such bad. Oh.
Yeah, really bad card. Now it's a 1 and a black card with the same text of 3/2 can't block, which is fine, not good, but fine. And then 2 black to discard it for its channel, where creatures cannot block this turn. That's very strong. Not something you see on black very often, and why it was weird on Shinnin of Fierce Chill in the first place.
Yeah.
You don't see that on black very often. Just they can't block.
It's usually
you know,
red, yeah.
So I like this card. I think it's very strong. The black is where the aggro deck is, as we've been saying.
And it lets you have a 3-power 2-drop.
Yep, we love that.
We want that.
That attacks fast, man.
Yeah. If we're getting in there, we're getting in there. So.
Yeah.
Shirie, she's his caretaker, is 4 and a black for a 2/2 legendary creature spirit. Whenever a creature with power 1 or less dies, you may return that creature card turn that creature card to play under your control at the end of turn if you still have Shirie in play.
Yeah, Shirie is weird.
Commander card, people love doing combos with it. It lets
Yeah.
you sack a bunch of stuff and they all come back at the end of turn.
Yeah, it's a very odd card, but
We kept it the same because it has a lot of history and a lot of people like it. So
it's also better for what we're doing, I think.
Yep, and there's gonna be. I made sure there was enough creatures that either sack themselves or could sack other things, or that were small enough that would come back. So you have options with it, and it's interesting. But you do gotta kind of work for it. You really do gotta work for this card.
Yeah, you have to work really hard, I think. It's probably just not worth it, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
But it's there. It's the options there, and the deck can exist.
Yeah, I would never go for it myself, I think.
Yeah. Sickening Shoal, X black black, instant arcane. Target creature gets -X/-X until on a turn. And then with this one, just like the other ones, you can exile a black card from your hand, and X becomes that card's converted mana cost.
Yeah, this card's playable and limited just because it's a removal spell. It's expensive to do much. Most of the time, you'll play it for like 5 mana, give something -3/-3, kill it.
Yeah.
It's rough, but
the modularity of it does mean that you can kill small stuff if that's what's really important. Like a 4/2 out there, you can just go 4 mana instead.
That's still a lot, but it
it's
was worth it.
It's worth it.
And it could hit black cards was part of the problem, is that there were a lot of removal spells that couldn't hit black cards.
In black, yeah, and this can. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The free spell part, you just almost never did in limited.
New version?
New version is now 2 black black to destroy up to 2 target creatures with combined mana values of 6 or less. And you may exile a black card in your hand to cast Sickening Shoal for 2 and a black less. So it can cost 1 mana if you exile another black card. Yeah, this card seems pretty great. I like 4 mana to kill 1 creature that's big, or 2 small creatures, you know?
Yep.
I don't want to exile a black card to this very often. That's just the case in limited. You know, that's how that
You're
works.
just not going to want to do it, but I did want to keep it.
When you have to, and that's the thing you can do.
Yep. You got
cool.
You have too many cards in hand and you're not drawing lands. You have like 3 lands in play and they're building a board.
To do stuff. You gotta like.
Kill your 2-drop and your 3-drop.
For 1 mana.
For 1 mana, and I have all these extra cards I don't need.
Also,
anymore.
this will be the one I think most likely to use that effect actually in particular.
And it's just
empty your
in that
hand.
situation when it'll empty your hand, but also I think that its effect is really good at catching you back up when you're not drawing lands. You're just
or even when you are getting into the game and you're there, but you're not at the tempo they are. So you play your creature,
your 2-drop or your
3-drop,
and you're like, I got 1 mana left. I gotta interact with this stuff, or he'll get out of hand. So you're like, all right, I'll spend this other card to kill 2 creatures, because it's a 2-for-2 still in those situations.
And
so
you're fine with that, yeah, absolutely. All right, next card: Sinking Tekanuma, 3 and a black, sorcery, arcane, sweep. Return any number of swamps you control to their owner's hands. Target player discards a card for each swamp returned this way. Terrible garbage cards. 4 mana, lose all your lands.
This will always put you ahead of them on cards, though. That was the thing it was meant to do. It did that thing. Who cares?
Who cares? Trash card. We don't like it.
Okay, now 3 white black. It still has sweep. Oh yeah, our new sweep.
New sweep.
Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, so we get 2 creatures back if we do the sweep. This card seems quite strong. It's another cheap effect. I'm glad we have a lot of them actually.
Yes.
Especially because this one's not too cheap.
It's 5 mana, yeah.
It's
5 mana is 1 above rate normally.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't.
Lately, they've been printing them only at 5 mana, but with
always with bonuses because they don't want to go back to 4.
Yeah. Yeah, this card seems sweet. I'm excited to play it. It's a spirit card as well.
Yeah,
it's a spirit
exactly.
spell.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Skull Collector, 1 black black for a 3/3 creature, Ogre Warrior. Beginning of your upkeep, return a black creature you control to its owner's hand, but it also has 1 and a black regenerate.
I like Skull Collector, but it's not good.
It's not good, no.
Returning a black creature every turn is a huge downside.
There is one of these. No, there is 1.5 of this cycle that is good, and but generally they're really bad because it's so hard to keep returning your own stuff when it's not really worth it. You have to keep putting.
If you have ETBs, it's cool, but
but there weren't
have
any.
them.
So it's just like the investment's so high. And your creature, yes, maybe above rate for the time, but you're losing a different creature. So it's almost like you're not getting anything that's above rate because you're losing something else.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really bad.
Now we have 1 black black for a 4/4 at the beginning of your upkeep. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand. Doesn't have to be black, which is nice. 1 and a black, it gets indestructible until its turn. Tap it. That effect in this format is much better. It's also a little bit more above rate to be a 4/4 instead. Yeah, I like it. It's still pretty rough to do that in this format.
These cards are unplayable, except the blue one's actually kind of playable because it's only 1 mana. But most of these are unplayable unless you have stuff to return that's worth returning.
It
needs to be. It needs to be almost an up. It needs to be an upside that just is bad at tempo.
Yeah.
Like for it to
the
be
2 mana
worth.
draw card guy. That kind of thing.
Like the wandering.
Has to be that.
Yeah, wandering one's got to be something along those lines.
So this is rough to play, but you have some decks that will, and they'll be happy to have one.
Yep. Or if you have any 1 mana creature, it's okay if you've got like honor as well.
Yeah.
And then
it
you're like,
just feels like it's not keep cost. But it also means, like you said, if you have honor as well. Because otherwise it's just like, then we're also paying this card that we can't ever attack
really
with, you know?
No. Yeah, you got to be getting something out of dudes returning them. So yeah. And there's also Teardrop Kami is Scry 2.
Yep.
We like that. So you need stuff like that. Yep. But I made sure the payoff is a little bit better.
Yeah,
it's
being a 4/4 is nice.
And it still gets the regenerate, quote unquote. So
yeah, this card's probably going to get very, very little.
If you can keep returning stuff, the text is great. Skullmane Baku, 2/1 for 3 black. Creature spirit. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, put a key counter on it, and you may pay 1, tap, remove X key counters to give target creature -X until end of turn.
It's expensive. It was playable.
This card was pretty good in its time. I'm pretty sure I've heard a lot of people talk about this one because it's removal, it's repeatable.
Repeatable, yep.
Yep, and that's good. If you got 2 creatures out of this, you did it. Hooray.
Yep.
So it's tiny power and toughness, but it never mattered.
It was easy to kill, but
Yes,
that's mainly what it was.
true. Yeah.
With your own Skullman Baku.
True.
That one.
Yeah, with this one, the better one.
3 black for a 3/5. Whenever you cast a spirit spell or reveal a spirit card, put a key counter on it. 1 remove X key counters without tapping it. Target creature gets -X until end turn. This card will be very good.
Yep.
But because of how formats work, 5 mana is a lot for us now.
Yep.
So this card, although I say is very good, it may be too slow against a lot of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's why it's good. It's a 3/5 blocker as well. You know, it does a lot.
Yeah, because you start building the counters after the turn 5 now, which is a much bigger deal than it was back then.
Yeah.
And you've already cast some spells, so how many counters are you going to get? What are you going to be able to kill with that?
Yeah, I expect this to be a little weak for our format.
Well, that's why we took off the tap, because you want to still be able to block with it, and
maybe do the minuses.
and do multiple minuses in the same turn if you need
Yeah.
to. You want it to still feel correct, so I took off
It
the
may
tap.
be really strong. It'll probably be really strong once you get it going, but can you get it going?
Can you get it going? Skull Snatcher, 1 black for a 2/1 creature ninja rat with ninjutsu black. When he does combat damage to a player, you can exile 2 cards from their graveyard.
Pretty sure the card was terrible.
Yeah. We kept it though and just made it a 2/2 instead, so it's more playable as just a filler card.
Yeah. It's a 2
and
out of 2/2, sure.
I thought it was nice to try and keep some of this graveyard hate just so that you had options that could answer the Soul Shift loops.
The Soul Shift loops and the infinite black spells.
Yeah, because we made these cards a lot better. We just did.
Yeah.
So I thought having safety valves was really important.
Okay. I mean, and also, like I said, this one's bad, I think, but 2 mana 2/1, they probably played it sometimes.
Yeah.
We're going to play our 2 mana 2/2 sometimes.
Yep. And otherwise, you put it in the board and sometimes bring it in as a creature that's...
I'm sure the aggressive deck will want this, actually.
Yeah.
It's just a creature for cheap.
It's just a creature, yeah. Soulless Revival is 1 black. Instant Arcane. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Splice into Arcane. 1 black.
Target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah.
So it's a raised deck.
Yeah, this is great.
Instant.
This card was probably playable at best back then. I think it'll be a lot better for us if we have something like it, which I expect you changed very little.
Yeah. We just did...
Black for the original cast.
Made it a sorcery because these make sense as sorceries.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, this card's good, I think.
Yep, I like it a lot. The front side's just that. The back side is.
And then we have the ability to reveal this, for the reveal effects. I'm loving that.
Yep.
Yep.
Good card.
It's a good card.
I think it's actually a really good card.
I think it'll be picked like the other good raised deads. So good raised deads don't get picked early and limited.
No. But
good,
you play them though. It's the
you
difference.
play them all the time when you get them, and you still don't pick them late. Like, it's not like a 13th, 14th pick. It's more like a 9th pick, 8th pick.
They more like end up being a thing where you're like, oh, I know I have creatures that will be going to my graveyard that I do still want to get back.
Yep.
Stir the Grave, X and a black, sorcery return, target creature card with converted mana costs X or less from your graveyard to play.
Yeah, this card was not
Seems
good.
horrible. Seems absolute garbage. The rate is so bad.
Yeah, not good.
You pay 4 mana for a 3-drop, 5 mana for a 4-drop,
and it always has to be one you already had as well.
Yes.
So it's rough. So now it's X and black, return target creature card with mana value twice X or less from your graveyard to value. This card's quite good.
Yeah, so what we did here is we didn't want to make it it's not with the cheating cards. It is with the deck that will still use those cards, which is just graveyard, bringing stuff back.
I say this is great with cheating cards. I don't know.
You can't, so you still got to pay a lot of mana for expensive stuff.
No, you don't. 5 for an 8/8 for an 8 cost spell.
Yeah.
That's normal. That's what we were doing with the other cards.
5 mana for an 8 cost? Oh, yeah.
That's really good.
Right, never mind.
This is good with the cheating deck.
The point was I liked this design.
I like this design as well. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Because I think that's where we're looking at, and then whenever... The one I'm worried about, actually, is the one right under that. I think paying 4 mana for a 6 cost is scary. And but not too scary, but I'm just I'm scared of playing against that, Yeah.
I was like, that's like what, it's just like the regular old school reanimates.
Right. It was like zombify my Grave Titan and be happy,
Yeah, exactly. So
it's, and we don't.
And
have
you can also get a 4-drop back for 3 mana.
Right, exactly. The getting the medium-sized creatures, which is sometimes what your reanimate effects had to end up doing because you just didn't find your big creatures.
You gotta be playing the game.
This is cheaper. It's nice.
Yep, I like it a lot. I like the idea of the size mattering based on X. It was so expensive the way they chose to do it, the old one. And I thought of a couple different things before I went
X
on this.
+2,
I almost went on just a very normal, just 3 and a black reanimate something with a little bit of extra text. And then I was like, no, this is actually cooler.
Yeah.
Struggle for Sanity, 2 black. I'm just gonna let you know this card didn't change because I love it. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. That player sets aside a card from it, but then you set aside a card from it. And you repeat this until all cards have been set aside. They discard the cards you set aside and keep the ones they set aside.
They go first. Okay.
They do go first. They get the best card. They get to keep the best card.
Huh.
And you take the second best card.
This is rough because by the time you cast it, their hand size might be down to 3. If their hand size is 3,
it's like just at the right point where it might be not good enough, but it sometimes also might be great.
Right. I think this is playable once their hand size is 4, because you get their second best card and their worst card.
Yeah.
And that's better than Mind Rot.
Yeah.
So that's sweet. So if their hand size is 4 or greater, this hand's good. This card's playable.
Playable. Well, 5 is still worse than 4. Or 5
Same as
5 is same as 4. No,
no, slightly better.
You're
the second
five
best out of 5 is better than the second best out of 4.
You get their
You don't get their worst card. You
I
get
was going to say you get their second best and their second worst instead of their second best and their worst.
Yeah, so it's an interesting card. I think it's probably not playable.
And that's okay with me because I love it.
I love it too. I think
design,
it's such a cool design.
I couldn't change this design, and it still discards, which is something you want to be doing. One of the strategies.
Yeah.
So
You can. I think this would be a fine board card if you know you're playing against a high hand size deck. I guess. Otherwise, it's pretty bad. I think.
Yeah, love this card.
I like this
so
card.
awesome. Such a cool design.
It's very cool.
Swallowing Plague, X black for Sorcery Arcane, deals X damage and you gain X damage to creature and you gain X life.
Yeah, you play this card.
The rate's bad, but the effect is good.
Yeah, I love this effect. I've always loved this effect.
This effect is strong. You will play this because it's a lot of life and it kills a creature.
Because you're playing this for X equals 3
or more. And that's good. I mean, it's expensive, but the thing about it is, so I think that's something that a lot of Magic players get blinded by is things being too expensive, right? They forget that is very relevant for sure, but there are times when it is not relevant. It doesn't matter that it's expensive.
And that's why it's so good,
and you need to think about that sometimes whenever you're talking about especially X cards, because X cards are flexible.
They can be cheap, even though it's a bad effect.
Yeah,
the point is you're able to do it.
And then it's as much mana as you have, which is huge because it's different than a 5 mana 5/5. It's different than a 2 mana 2/2.
Yeah.
It is as big as you got.
X mana XXs have always been amazing.
Those are insane in limited, especially. Yeah. But like an X and a green mana X, where X is equal to the X, is still a good card.
Yeah,
that's a great card, and
that's elemental.
Yeah, it's really hard to impress that on people who are getting understanding of the game, getting a lot of grasp, is because they're only seeing rates as they are, so they think it needs to be a 4 mana 4/4, and they're not thinking.
But it fits my
curve
in a
situation,
anywhere.
Yeah, it fits my curve anywhere, and any situation in which mana just doesn't matter, which happens enough games, this card will be better than all my other cards.
Yeah, it'll be a 7/7.
If I have 7 or 8 mana, IV Elemental is better than my 4 mana 4/4. It just is. Yeah. And I'd rather draw it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's slightly worse, but still playable at 4 mana as a 3/3.
Yep. Which
is not true of the 4/4. The 4/4 is only good if I got 4 mana.
I mean, it's still good other times, but that's when it does.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's only better than IV Elemental at that point.
So, long-winded way to say this card fits a similar archetype. The rate sucks, but the effect being that kind of effect is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, we didn't change it.
Oh, I didn't expect that. That's pretty rough.
Here's why we didn't change it. It's because it's a spirit now.
That's what I saw. I was like, that's probably why, because recursive
and triggering your spirit stuff. And
because it gets back with the Soul Shift 2. X spells that are spirits in this are a lot better, and we have a few of them.
Yeah, so I felt there wasn't a good way to go with this that would feel comfortable with. I couldn't take a mana off.
No, X+1.
Oh? Yeah? Alright, I'll keep that. Wait, why is that?
Requires you to have 2 black mana, requires Soul Shift, not 1.
There's very few Soul Shift ones. There's like 2.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's where I would be at, still. But I just think that, like, paying 3 mana to deal 2 damage and Xing up from there is strong, but it's not too strong. And this is too weak.
I think you might be right, but I think you play this card a decent bit of the time because it's good. Like, it's... Okay, so you're thinking, like, 3 mana for 2 damage being the floor is, like, we are comfortable with that floor because it goes up. But here's the problem I have with that.
You would maybe
it goes up
card.
so much better.
Yeah, and you'd maybe
4
play that
mana.
card.
Yeah, 4 mana for 3 damage, gain 3 life. That's good.
That's really good. Yeah.
5 mana for deal 4 damage, gain 4 life. That's good.
But that's not. That's 5 mana, dude.
That doesn't matter because you're gaining 4 life. That's huge.
Yeah.
In these, when you're
What
doing
about X+1 on the damage, not X+1 on the life?
Okay, anyway, we're moving on. Takenuma Bleeder is 2 and a black for a 3/3 creature ogre shaman. Whenever it attacks or blocks, you lose 1 life unless you control a demon.
This card's good. 3 mana 3/3 is above rate at the time.
At the time, yeah, and it was just a little
1 life each time it did combat is not so bad.
Not so bad, yeah.
And you could just have a demon, you know. But it was just good. It wasn't great. It was just good.
Yeah, you play it. 3 mana 3/3s in black. You play a lot of the time.
Yeah.
There's like
we still did very recently.
there was like
Ixalan,
the Ixalan, the pirate that
was
you
good.
lost 2 life. You don't care.
Darefleet Border or whatever it's called.
Yeah, you just fucking lose the 2 life and then hit him for 3. You're good.
Yeah.
Takenuma Bleeder now is 2 and a black for a You were supposed to say that.
2 and a black for a 3/1. We got another bot. Whenever Takenuma Bleeder enters the battlefield,
Nice.
each player sacrifices a creature. Oh, it's one of these.
Yeah.
These are cool.
And got a
why
small
not?
sacrifice synergy, so.
Yeah, why not?
Yep.
These cards are always fine.
Yep.
They're playable in the right deck always,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yep, that's where we're at. So, good
Yep.
enough.
Sure, fine.
Thief of Hope.
Ah, yes!
Yeah,
Oh,
here we are.
my jam.
2 and a black for a 2/2 creature spirit. Whenever you play a spirit or arcane spell, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Soul Shift 2. This card's great.
This card's really good.
Fantastic.
Show me the same card.
Show you the same card, Nate.
Oh, baby.
What? How did
Look
you
at that.
know?
This card's
great.
really strong.
So good.
You don't pack 1, pick 1 it.
No.
You pack 2, pick 1 it a lot though.
Yeah.
So once
'Cause
you
you
know
knew
you're
you were
in a
there.
spirit heavy deck, you just you see a Thief of Hope, you have to pick it.
You see a Thief of Hope, pick a Thief of Hope. It's a good
Yeah,
card.
I mean I'm gonna pick a pack 1, pick 1, but you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. You probably have a better rare in there. or
Yeah, you have
something.
something else to do.
Yeah, but card's awesome.
But yeah, the card's really good. You will pick it early.
Don't
but,
underestimate it.
Yeah, this card will kill you.
Yeah. 3 tragedies, 3 black, sorcery, arcane. Target player discards 3 cards.
Terrible.
Trash. 5 mana? They probably don't have 3 cards in hand, bro.
Nope.
Bad.
Each player discards 3 cards at 3 mana. I think I've seen this card before, huh?
Huh,
it
that's
was only
crazy.
2 mana, wasn't it?
It was 3 mana.
Was it?
Delirium Schemes is this card exactly, but it's not a spirit.
Okay. I don't know how good this card is.
Me neither. It's probably not good, but
Probably. But
I wanted to
maybe.
go for it.
I mean, obviously,
I was
whenever you're low
building
on
that-
cards and they're not, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, well, I was building that Heckbent deck, and I was like, Delirium Schemes would be cool in that deck. So I turned this shit
Because you have
card
you already
into
have
Delirium
Vision
Schemes.
Schemes.
Yep,
so-
exactly.
Sure.
And Vision Schemes is interesting too when you really care about having a large hand size and you got to pay any mana. to
I
get
think that
there.
card's worse than this one, actually.
I do too.
probably.
I think this card's better than that one because you could just have no cards in hand and then they lose however many this makes them lose.
Yeah, this card could be playable. In the decks that know they're going Heckbent, aggro decks as well, all that.
And it's a spirit, so ta-da.
Who knows?
Throat Slitter, 4 and a black, 2/2 creature, rat ninja, 2 ninjutsu, 2 and a black. Whenever it does combat damage to a player, destroy target non-black creature they control.
Yeah, card's great.
Card's great. It's
Card's
great.
really good.
It's
because you're planning on hitting with a flyer or something, and then you
So
turn
you're
it
planning
into a
on
Throat
getting
Slitter.
that 2 and a black, they take 2 to kill one of the creatures. That's gonna happen.
Yeah, so then it's just like, wow, okay.
And then it's a creature on the board that they can't afford not to block.
Yeah, exactly. That's another part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to trade with it if they're gonna be able to.
Oh, we didn't change it except we took off the non-black clause.
Good, perfect. Yeah, love this card.
Yep.
Very reasonable.
Great card. Super
At,
cool.
at 5 mana, it's pretty weak though. I
Yeah,
would
so
have
you gotta
expected that to
ninjutsu
go
it.
lower, but
You
you
gotta
have to
ninjutsu
ninjutsu it for it to be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I decided because of that. If I'm not going to lower the big mana cost, you're not doing that. If you're doing that, you're playing this wrong. You need to do more through deck.
Well, I'm just talking about I'm drawing top decking in the late.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it should be bad.
Sure.
So we'll keep it bad that way.
Yep.
Toshiro Umezawa, 1 black for a 2/2. Legendary creature, human samurai, Bushido 1. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you may play target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If that card was put in the graveyard this turn, remove from the game instead.
Awkward as hell. Black caring about my things dying and my instants and sorceries in my graveyard.
Your thing's dying, and then my instant sorcery in the graveyard.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. Either way, my sorceries in the graveyard in black is kind of awkward already. If that card we put into the graveyard, yeah, so you just cast it and it has flashback with exile. It gives something in your graveyard flashback for its mana cost whenever an opponent's creature dies.
Weird, right?
It's just weird. But I kind of like it. But
Kept it.
so now it's 1 black for a 2/2 with that ability and the honor ability for +1/+1 until end of turn instead of the Bushido ability for that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be good. I don't think it will be, but that's okay. The thing it does is kill creature with my kill spell.
Cast again, kill
kill
something
spell.
else. Yep.
Because by the time the creature is by the time this trigger goes on the stack, the
Yeah.
card's in the graveyard.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Trigger doesn't go on the stack until spell resolves.
Yeah.
Spell resolves.
Yeah, it's
by
already in the
putting it
graveyard. Yeah, no, it's already in the
Yeah,
graveyard.
okay. Yeah.
So you can do it.
Weird.
Yeah. Decided to keep it. It actually sees a lot of play in Commander.
You also changed how it works a little bit, actually.
Yes, I did.
You may cast an instant sorcery from your graveyard if you do exile it as it resolves instead of exile it instead of
it takes up less text space, even though I know it's mechanically different. So when I do this kind of thing, this not flashback but not flashback, I do this text usually because it takes up so much less space.
I don't think it's that mechanic. I think it's mechanically...
Here's where its biggest mechanical differences and why they don't do it very often. If the spell gets countered, it goes to your graveyard.
Yeah. So that one exiles it, this one goes to the graveyard.
But I do it for brevity's sake. It won't play very different almost at all.
Yeah.
And I hate having too much text that doesn't mean much.
Yeah.
Villainous Ogre is 2 and a black for a 3/2 that can't block, but as long as you control a demon, it has black regenerate.
Very awkward. It's an attacker. I think this card was probably fine, but not great.
Yeah.
You know?
There's too many good blockers.
It's very interesting that it doesn't...
turned it into a bad card.
Yeah, it's very interesting that it doesn't have a downside like some of the ogres do. Instead, it has an upside.
Can't block.
No. A downside for not having a demon. It has
Oh,
an
right.
upside
Yeah,
for having
not
a
very
demon.
many of them had that. Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Well, anyway.
2 and a black for a 3/2. Whenever you sacrifice or discard it, you may pay 3 life. If you do, return it to the battlefield tapped at the beginning of the next end step. Sure, I love this card.
Yeah.
Love this card.
You can discard it and actually get it to the battlefield, too.
Yeah. That's cool. I think this card's great.
Yep.
Like, great.
This was talking about before about the similar, like, replacing regenerate with something more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did here.
Yeah, because when you sacrifice it, it's the only time that it works.
Yeah,
but
it's more
still.
specific, but
Yeah,
it's got something
I
going
like
on.
it. I like it.
Yep. Waking Nightmare, 2 and a black, Sorcery Arcane, target player discards 2 cards.
Not good, but not terrible.
We just did
it's
it.
better this time.
It'll be
I
fine.
think.
You won't play it a lot, but I think it'll be okay.
I think it's a good sideboard card, just like Mind Rot usually is.
Yeah, it's actually, Miner's a great sideboard card, so this will
And
probably
sometimes
be...
playable in the main deck, you know,
Yeah,
sometimes.
this will be probably great.
Yeah.
In sideboard.
In sideboards, yeah.
You may play it main deck if you don't have enough stuff to do, which is fine.
Or if it does something for you for some reason, you know, you need your opponent's hand to be small.
It's a spirit, too,
Yeah.
so... Wicked Akuba, black for a 2/2 creature spirit, black. Target player dealt damage by Wicked Akuba this turn loses 1 life.
Wicked Akuba was very awkward. Not good, but it could just kill your opponent.
Yep.
Now, new Wicked Akuba is black for a 2/2. Black, sacrifice opponent, target player loses 1 life. Yeah, fine. Works into any sacrifice effect you're trying to go for. We saw some of it. There's not as much as I expected, but there is still some.
Yeah.
You got to have the right deck for Wicked Akuba.
Yep.
It's a 2-mana 2/2 though.
Yukora the Prisoner, 2 black for a 5/5 legendary creature demon spirit. Whenever it leaves play, sacrifice all non-ogre creatures you control.
Huh. This card's good. I think.
It's weird. It's a weird card, right?
Yeah.
It's 5/5 for 4. It was probably
Right,
good.
exactly,
You
that's
played
the
it.
thing, it's
You
just
just
5/5
probably
for
didn't
4.
play a lot of other creatures when you played it.
You played ogres.
Played ogres, yeah, that's true.
You played ogres.
Well, anyway.
Now it's 4 black for a 5/5. It costs 1 less for each card that's been discarded this turn. Trample Haste. Haste on this card is kind of crazy, actually. Because it's Trample Haste 5/5 for 6 is already, like...
Pretty good.
Really good.
I mean, it's no, what's the dinosaur? The Trample Haste 5/5 for 5?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This card is going to be that sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it is.
That's pretty good.
Well, 3 black instead of 4 red. That card was
right.
nuts, dude.
Charging Monster.
Charging Monster Store was stupid. That card was great.
I think this card's just going to be strong.
Yep, agreed.
Yep.
We want to close out those games in our aggro decks.
That's it.
All right, that's it. That's black. We did it. Hooray. It is now 12:21.
Yeah, sweet. We did it in time.
Awesome.
I wanted to leave about now.
Yeah, sounds good. We did good.
We made it.
High five. All right, so
Next time.
Next time is
Red
Monday.
cards.
Red cards. Peace.
See ya.
If there's any chance we could go faster, there's no way though. Just can't without
Takes
losing
3 hours to do a whole entire set.
every time.
I guess no. Yeah, 3 hours.
We just did 3 hours to do black, so.
Yep. And it was about 3 hours to do.
Yep.
Blue.
So it's just gonna be 3 hours every time.
All right.
We do about
Cool.
it.
We're done.
All right. Cool. That was fun.